for Lauderdale. Onto the far side of the ground, as far almost as you can be away from us here, unless you're at the Riverside Medical Centre. But that's okay though. Jaden Hines steadies. Drives it back in the middle. Palfreyman drops what he should have taken. Beaumont's calling for it in the middle. Doesn't see him. Ball bobbling around. Could have been a free kick for ridden into the ground, but umpire says no play on. Beaumont's in there. Very, very big in for the Blues, as Dave Moore said earlier. Taken away by Lauderdale. Playing between the arcs at the moment. Sides trying to settle. Picked up there by Sam Foley. Back towards the middle. Palfreyman. Sorry, House, I think that is.
Yep.
House steadies. Beaumont inside 50. In the direction of Riley. Pushes off. Nice work there, Suki. Riley held without it perhaps, but no. Yes, leaked actually. It's going to be a free kick there. Launceston's way. Second effort there from Riley. A very, very good one. But that's going to be a big match-up for them today. Suki and Riley.
A very athletic build, Suki, Max.
He is. He did everything right in that contest. Won the contest, got the ball to ground, but just forgot that Dylan Riley's hand was on the ball and decided to kick it.
Riley playing a bit closer to goal now with that Hines out. Moves in, approaches well, strikes it well, and the Blues are on the ball. First goal of the day through the agency of Dylan Riley. Launceston on the 1 goal straight, 6, just ticking over 6 minutes in the first quarter. Max, Lauderdale yet to score.
Yeah, a bit disappointed. They've had a couple of journeys forward so far at Lauderdale, but they just seem to be lacking something deep down into their forward line. They've got into the half forward a couple of times, and the rebound of Foley and who else was down there? Kai Lunston as well involved, and obviously Hines just played a bit of footy together now. Those boys, whether it be at state league, senior level or development league, and working really well, and have run it out a couple of times.
Up it goes. Smith wins the tap. Sutton to Walsh. Gets it to half forward. Oh, gee, that's a good mark in front. Wait till the player turns around. It's Jeremiah Perkins. Lovely mark. Kicks it further forward. Out of defence, Launceston. Chain of handballs ends up with Lunston. Lunston goes wide. And mark taken by House. House has to play on. Tackled there by Perkins. Pushed off his kick a little bit. Close to the boundary line. Picked up there by Conor McCormack. Kick only as far as Tyler Martin. We can't quite pick it up. Liam Jones. Little handball back to Conor McCormack. Further field to Palfreyman. Spills out of bounds in front of the scoreboard. So yes, the rain that was predicted today, it certainly came through, but it's probably come through a little bit earlier than was forecast. So it's turned into a bit of a westerly breeze now. It's flying straight across Windsor Park towards the scoreboard. Excited kids in front of us here. Watch their heroes here today at Windsor Park. Blues lead by 6 points. From the boundary throw-in, spills to the back. Conor McCormack involved again. He's tackled illegally by Perkins. And there'll be a free kick to Conor McCormack. His brother Tiernan, of course, plays in the Devils. Plays in the full-back position. Goes wide. Close to out of bounds. Stays in. House again. Geez, a fair bit of it early, boys. His kick drifts through the breeze back towards the centre of the ground. Bell Chambers. Can't pick it up. Bailey Gillow back to Conor McCormack once again. And the House. House just kicks for territory. Sneaks inside 50 for Dave Gruber, who I haven't introduced yet. Welcome, Dave Gruber, today. The big trip to Hobart last week did a fantastic job for us, as per usual. Here's Tyler Martin, handball away. Siggins quiet so far. In fact, that was Hayden Smith. He couldn't pick it up. It's like a piece of soap. And over to you, Robbers. It's a ball up. Half-forward flank for Launceston. They lead by a goal.
Yeah, real vintage wet weather footy today, and as we've said, it's just about keeping it moving at all costs. I can do battle. Smith and Groenewegen. We'll call them a few times today. Another inside 50 there. The Launceston could have been a push out. Umpire said no. Lauderdale trying to get some numbers around it and get it out. Beaumont asked the question. Umpire says it's mine. It's going to be a ball up just inside 50. Launceston into attack. Just about to tick over 9 minutes. They're up by a goal. Only goal of the game. They can do battle. Lauderdale away. Walsh. Big kick forward. Going to be Hines. Good body work, but it's going to be okay for Lauderdale. They'll take that away, move that forward. So Launceston now across half back. That's a nice mark taken there. Goes back inside. So Pfeiffer. Good one of their newer players this year. That's a nice kick from Pfeiffer. Cormac moves it forward. Pofferman calls him out, calls it's mine. Another inside 50. Blues looking threatening. Riley. Kick, push out. Yeah, had the hands on the back, but I don't think the ball was close enough when he did that, so it's going to be a free kick to his opponent. Reglione.
Was it Suki might have it, I think?
Reglione's making position. It is Suki. Lauderdale free kick, leading free kick. Down by a goal, early stages. Gone away from first hands on. Shaw close it forward. Line wins that one. Early days, Dave Moore, and a real arm wrestle to start with.
Blues would be happy with the first 10 minutes, Max?
Yeah, my word, they would. Like, I've noticed a couple of those kicks of Lauderdale's got a bit of airtime in them, and the wind's just dragged it probably another 10 or 15 metres than what you'd expect. Another interesting observation. I just thought coaching from the boundary, we're not really accustomed to seeing him there. He's normally up in the coach's box barking the instructions, but down on the fence this week for him.
Tyler Martin with the mark at half back. Kicks long. Gee, it's going to be close to the line with the breeze. Just fisted away by Foley. And it's going to be a bounty throw in. Right half forward for Lauderdale.
You can see with that kick, Dave, the breeze that is carrying it. So it's certainly a good 3 to 4 goal breeze, I think. So Lauderdale will be really keen to start getting a bit of structure in that forward half. And notice a few of the boys now just telling them to pull back, get away from that contest, to give themselves a little bit of room for to be able to hit the ball at pace and get it deep into their forwards.
The size in that back line for Lauderdale, Martin, Raglione and also Suki. Bryce Walsh with a little kick. Releases it to a teammate who gets tackled immediately. Umpires today, Hamish Johnson, Mark Tuckett and Nick Merritt-Smith. Today's broadcast brought to you by Elgats. For LPG needs statewide. Talk to the locals' knowledge. Phone 13 11 61. We've got another ball up inside 50s. Dave Gruber, 5 to Launceston, 3 to Lauderdale so far. 4 clearances apiece. Here's a clearance for Lauderdale as Martin gets the ball. Further up the wing. Players slipping over left, right and centre. Handball from Beaumont looking for space. He might find a teammate here. Trying to pick it up. There was Jacob Wheeler. It's out of bounds.
You'd sort of be thinking, like we keep saying with this wet weather footy, a kick's better than a hand pass in that situation. They handled it 4 times and didn't move the ball.
Massive game for Launceston today. They just about wrap up a final spot. Move to 28 points. Wouldn't be totally guaranteed, but it'd be hard to knock them out from there. There's Gillo now around the corner. Doing pretty well there was Finn Rackett. Played the spoil. It's out of bounds, but territory still is with Launceston. And if the breeze is across the ground, but if it's favouring an end, it's definitely favouring that town end, which they kicked to in the first quarter. Boundary umpire, Alex Cassidy, throws it in. Hayden Smith with the tap. Trying to take it away there was Fletcher Hooker. Bailey Gillow's tackled by 2. Not penalised here. No, another ball up.
No try there, Dave. Just grabbed it and wrapped up. Really good job just to hold the ball in there, Bailey Gillow, instead of trying to dispose of it.
A lot of players around the contest. Releasing handball there from Ackroyd. Ends up, though, with the inclusion Jesse Price from the selected teams. Here towards Conor McCormack. Can't quite take it. Off the ground. Intelligent play there by Steinbauer. Gets it forward towards Perkins. He's in a battle there with Atkins. Perkins does pretty well to wrap Atkins up. And we'll have a ball up. Left half forward for Lauderdale. In fact, he's going to be penalised there. It's Campbell Atkins. Didn't release the ball. Thoughts, boys?
Yeah, look, not so much didn't release the ball, he's just not trying to get rid of it. A genuine attempt.
Perkins long towards full forward. First time we've seen them deep in attack the Bombers. Off the hands there of Kobe Bennett. So it's a throw in about 15, 20 metres around from the left behind post. Lauderdale in attack for the first time.
You get the feeling, Dave, they're going to need a lot out of Sam Siggins today, and Jamison House is wearing him like a glove.
And there he is right on cue. He can't quite get an effective kick away. Comes back to Jamison House, who just handballs to space. Canny's there. Further backwards to Conor McCormack, who's had a good first quarter. Up here towards Curran, who was on another late inclusion. Does well, the youngster. Might have gone the kick instead of the handball. Ends up all right now towards Sutton. Wheels around, does a 360 to the goal square. Reece Sutton. It's going to be a first score here, I think, for Lauderdale. No, it's kept in. So it's a boundary throwing.
Like 14 minutes gone and not scored with this breeze. It's
Yes.
Bit ominous for the Lauderdale Bombers, or Cats, whichever jumper they're wearing, but today they're the Bombers.
Yeah, they've worn the Cats a couple of times this year for various reasons. From the front, that was Gillo winning the ball down. Foley releases the kick and does well to Jaden Hines. That's a tough mark against the boundary line. Now, did he take the second grab over it?
Yep.
He did.
According to the boundary umpire.
So the boundary throw in. So Rob, we'll hand over to you.
Almost as far away as possible.
Yes,
as
that's
you
why I
can
hand-
contour position.
That's why I hand it over to you.
Beautiful handball off the stoppage there, Foz.
Look at my banners.
Absolutely, and I'm enjoying the ride in the ambulance to the hospital. But that's okay. Nice boundary throw in. Lauderdale needing a score, but taken away by the Blues back towards the centre. Steadying mark there to Hyatt. He's looking for options, goes by hand out towards Gillo. Nice kick forward there. The race is on. Launceston trying to get another inside 50. I think that was Kenny. Taken high probably. No,
It's against Riley.
right against Riley. That one. I was actually watching the play, didn't see what happened, but Soof was going to take the relieving free kick. Chopped off beautifully. That's a nice fist in there by the Launceston player to keep the ball inside 50. Just trickling out now. Races on to try and keep it in. Lauderdale don't want that to happen. Towed forward there by Steinbauer. Lots of bodies around the footy, crashing in as you'd want to see on such a winter's wet weather day.
Good effort there by Jacob Wheeler, Max. He laid that
It
spoil.
was, yeah. He kept the ball in really well for a young, inexperienced guy. Just kept his eye on the ball and got the fist too. It was good effort.
Mitch Thorpe will be delighted with this start from the Blues. They've only got one goal on the board, but they're running into that very, very strong cross breeze. It's a kick for touch, and the touch line's going to win. And that's going to be a throw, and it's great to see, Max, that the umpires who are at the Richmond St Kilda game aren't here today, because that would have been a St Kilda free kick. That's all right.
Don't let things go, do you, Rob?
No, I don't. Good memory, Foz. Good memory.
Boundary throw in. It's won by Hayden Smith on this occasion. We'll get a look at the hit outs in a minute from Dave Gruber. He's over the top. Fletcher Hooker hooks it around the corner. Bryce Walsh busy as usual. Just Sutton, the two veterans combined. Tries to get it to Curran. Can't get any effective passages to play at the moment, the Bombers. Foley does the soccer kick off the ground. Miscues. Steinbauer, he gets it off the ground. Ed Stanley might get there first. He's off the ground. Right now, deep into attack. Blackburn is there. He's up against a couple. They win out Launceston to Seth Pfeiffer. Low kick. Will end up with Foley. Tries to release a handball there to Lockie Presnell. Presnell up the wing. House has almost been best on the ground in this first quarter, possession-wise. As he's going to take a free kick. He's pushed in the back in the marking contest. Defensive side of the wing.
Goes, not on the mark. And he kicks it on the full.
He has out of the reach there of Ryan Tyrrell.
Mitch Thorpe shooting the laser beams at him across the boundary line. It was a poor kick, wasn't it?
Well, absolutely. Tani Suki, gee, gets close to the man on the mark, but he just get good elevation with the kick and distance. Oh, gee, that's tough there from Sam Foley. Comes out and takes a really good mark in defence up against Sam Siggins, who might be sore from last week because he seems to be playing deep forward. We know that he plays a bit on the ball, Max, but we haven't seen him outside attacking 50 yet.
No, he's he's playing deep forward with his breeze as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
The quality that he is. So be interesting to see where he is in the second quarter.
Long sleeves there, it's Tate Winter, can't pick it up. In there was Hyatt. Tate Winter, good second effort. Ball spills out, now he lays the tackle to Winter and forces a stoppage. So play there for the youngster. Get some pats on the back from his teammates. Half-time delay, Trent catching up with Trent Formula, assistant coach of the Tassie team. Of course, the coach of the Tigers, who've got the bye today. Siggins with the tap out. Now he's playing a bit on the ball late in this quarter. About to approach time on. We've only had one scoring shot through 18.5 minutes of footy. That's wet weather here today at Windsor Park. It's fined up as far as the conditions are concerned. Still breezy, but a lot of rain has fallen overnight. Heavy ground. Trying to escape is Jones. Good tackle, Hooker. Another ball up. Dave Gruber stats here, 10 hit-outs apiece so far today. 10 clearances to Launceston, 8 to Lauderdale. Here's a clearance from Walsh. Sideways kick, not effective though. Players diving in left, right and centre. Again, the player got his legs taken there. That was a Launceston player, so that'll be Liam Jones. Too far out to score. Dangerous up forward. He goes the short option looking for House, but in the way is young Tom Curran.
Tom Curran, who's hiding behind the light pole in front of us, drives it long back to the square. Launceston player Foley dropped what he should have taken. Ball bobbling around. They're going to have another inside 50. Foley drives it long into the mud pole. Riley with a big fly. Suki takes it away. Lauderdale can steady now. Beautiful smother there from the Launceston player. Races on. They've got the numbers around the footy. Picked up beautifully there. McCormick fires it out. Nice handwork there from Jones. Clever kick forward, but Suki again. He's been really good for Lauderdale back there. They go out the other side. And they're away. Siggins now has it. What's Sam Siggins going to do? He just barrels it forward. Bouncing inside 50. Lauderdale player held on to.
Yeah, Blackburn was held on the arm there.
And you'd like to think that with the bruise behind him, he might just steady down here. He's sort of thinking he's forgotten he's got a cyclone just about behind him. He's looking to play on quickly. He's still looking to move it on. Loads it up. Fairly ordinary looking kick off the, he never looked like he was setting himself for a shot on goal there, and awkward hit, and the Lauderdale boys are on the board.
One behind.
First behind, with a strong breeze at the 20-minute mark, Gabe Moore.
Let's talk about the curtain raises today. It was a real thriller in the D-League. Launceston getting home by 4 points, 6-5-41 to 5-7-37. That's a nice mark, Siggins. He's starting to come in the game. He's escaped out of the forward 50, and he's going to be a real factor in this contest. He kicks it high, long to the front of the goal square. Nobody flies in the end. Falls in someone's lap though. I think that might be Ed Stanley. We'll find as he turns around the number 13. Players stood around, and Ed Stanley was at the fall of the ball, took it on his chest. Unusual.
It is unusual, but I think that's just the drift of that wind as well. He was misjudged by the pack, and he was just plonked himself behind it, and lucky for Ed Stanley, straight into his mitts.
He's a good goal kicker, Ed Stanley. He's right in front, 25 out. Judges it nicely with the breeze and kicks their first goal for Lauderdale. Ed Stanley, after taking a strong mark in front of goal, they hit the front here at Windsor Park. 1-1-7, leading Launceston 1 goal straight, 6. And that move of Siggins onto the ball, I think it's going to be influential, Max.
Yeah, just for 2 or 3 minutes, they started to look the better side then. Lauderdale just through the Siggins, and him and Bryce Walsh have played a lot of footy together and worked well together, know each other's strengths, I guess, and good smart kick by Siggins as well, just to get it in there and put a bit of pressure on the Launceston defenders deep.
Really experience on ball there at the moment, Max. You've got Sutton, Walsh, Siggins, also Fletcher Hooker, the youngster, but pretty experienced combination there.
It is, yep.
Siggins takes it out of the air. He's had an absolute heap of it in the last 5 minutes. Another big barrel forward. It's going to be okay for the Blues, eh? Jaden Hines drives it back towards the middle. Punched away there by the Blues forward. Towed inside 50 there. Another inside 50 for the Blues. Really struggling to pick it up in that wet conditions, and that's a long kick for touch there by Nick Raglione. I reckon that'll be insufficient intent. No, throw-in, says the umpire.
Interesting coaching move by Launceston. They've taken Dylan Riley, floating him across half back, and put Tyrrell forward.
Yeah.
Found himself forward a couple of times, a couple of years ago or last year, Tyrrell, but I haven't seen much of him there of recent.
Interesting to see if that continues, Max, when they swap ends at the end of the quarter. Anyway, Siggins takes it out of the air. That's the bodies around the footy. Quick kick forward. Blues will be trying to snag another one into the wind here. It's okay though for Lauderdale. Just steady it down. Kick into space. Blues player slips over there as he goes together. Great physical contest there on Sam Foley. He's not easy to knock off his feet.
It's not getting up quickly either.
It's gone higher than it's gone further. That one into the wind. Staying in play. Lauderdale, another quick kick inside 50. The bodies around the footy as it's bouncing around there. Lots of up and under type kicks too. They're really wondering why they're struggling with a breeze behind them. Lauderdale wants us to try and take it away. Boundary line there, friend, and that's a nice mark taken there by Tom Beaumont.
Beaumont, left half-back, right half-back, sorry. I'll give you their score at UTAS Stadium in a moment for our northern listeners. It's an interesting second quarter there. We'll wait for the next stoppage, which could be right now as players dive on the ball. No worries about the wet weather at UTAS Stadium. There were 14 goals kicked in the second quarter, 10 to North Launceston and 4 to Glenorchy. And North Launceston lead 11-9-75, Glenorchy 4-4-28. There's Gronewagen now round the corner. Right half forward now for the Blues. Picking up is Raglioni. Now, player free here is Steinbauer. He gets a bit of a good bounce through the centre. He can't pick it up. It goes off the ground. He probably could have picked it up. He does get some territory here towards Stanley. He might have been pushed from the back. He was. And Stanley, the goal kicker. He's going to get up. He's, based on the last kick, he's not without a sneaky chance here. He can set it up on the breeze, Max.
Oh, look, I think the distance won't be an issue at all. Just the ball's carrying another 5 or 6 metres at least if it gets a bit of height in it. But I think it's well within his distance, just about 40 metres.
Here's Ed Stanley. Gets around with the stand rule. Pushes to the right. Does he? Or is it snuck in? It has. Great goal, Ed Stanley. He knew what he was doing. He got round the man on the mark. He used the advantage he gets from the stand rule. And it just snuck inside that right goal post. 2 goals Ed Stanley, 2 goals Lauderdale. And they're out now by 7 points.
And good return from Ed Stanley. Like I said, 2 goals. And they needed them because their coaching committee wouldn't be wrapped in the score. Take Ed Stanley's couple of efforts in the last 5 minutes away from it. Kicking with that breeze, as our boundary riders have shared with us. It is significant, but they haven't used it to the best of their ability.
It might have been a bit critical of young Steinbauer there. In hindsight, that the quick kick forward, to get it forward on a wet day. And got the advantage there with the free kick to Stanley. Here's Rob South for City Park Radio Sport.
Hayden Smith back on the ground, does battle with Gronewagen. Another quick toe forward by Walsh. You're going to get another look at it, Lauderdale. Inside 50, another inside 50, then just doesn't quite sit. Lots of bodies around the footy. Great tackle. Great tackle there. That difficult to see the number from here, that Launceston defender, but it looks like Dylan Riley. Looked like Dylan Riley. He's all over the place. All up. Launceston won't want to give up a goal here. We've talked to how Lauderdale haven't used the breeze. It's taken away there by Sam Foley. It's fallen into the lap. What's Bryce Walsh, is it?
Yep.
Game. It's all been Lauderdale the last 5 minutes or so. You think the wind swung around, though.
You're right, Rob. It was Dylan Riley back there. So obviously pushed back in the last couple minutes of the quarter.
Yeah,
so they get another goal here, Lauderdale.
He started on the wing right at that last stoppage. So yeah, you're right, Dave. He's drifted back to take a good mark. But important kick for Bryce Walsh. It's going to be really, really important today. He's pushed that across the face, and the breeze carries that through for a behind. So Bryce Walsh, as we've touched on, and Sam Siggins are going to be really critical today, given Lauderdale's outs. And, at the moment, Lauderdale 2-2-14, Launceston 1 straight 6, 27 minutes gone. First quarter, Jaden Hines bringing it back in for the Blues. And he's going to the cricket ground side of the ground. Nice mark taken at the front of the pack there by Ned Shaw, who's going to give Lauderdale another inside 50. Drives it long towards the goal square. Players fly, off hands. Lauderdale got the numbers around the footy, could have been taken high. The siren's going to win. We go into quarter time. Launceston 1 goal straight 6. Kicking into the breeze in the first quarter. Trailing Lauderdale 2-2-14. We'll go to the goal kickers for you. And they're not going to take us too long, Maxie Walker, the goal kickers, are they?
Well, they won't, Rob.
We've got Ed Stanley for Lauderdale. He's kicked 2. And for Launceston, Dylan Riley, who started forward. He's kicked the only goal. Was on the wing and ended up in the last few minutes of that quarter in the back line.
Slamming door scares all of us there in the background, but we've recovered. Dave Gruber's stats to quarter time, and it's hit outs pretty even. Lauderdale 13, Launceston 12. Not the sort of day when hit outs are going to matter a lot with such heavy ground and congested footy. Clearances, the Blues 13 to Lauderdale 10. Inside 50s, Lauderdale ended up winning that one for the quarter, 13-10. Only one mark inside 50 to Lauderdale. That was Ed Stanley who scored that goal. So it's that sort of day. Free kicks, Lauderdale 7 to Launceston 6, and intercept marks, Lauderdale 6 to Launceston 2. That's quarter time here. Max, just a quick thoughts before we go for some messages.
Yeah, look, I like the intent of Lauderdale just to keep the ball moving forward at all costs in that quarter. Didn't really have the impact that they probably would have liked on the scoreboard, but we've seen them kick it off the ground probably 4 or 5, half a dozen times out of the centre square region just to keep it moving. They were prepared to kick the ball long rather than go to a short 45 when you got that breeze behind you. So their intent was right. They just didn't have the polish, to finish it off. So it'll be really interesting as to how their backline hold up this quarter? Because I imagine Launceston will load up with the Gronwegans and the Palfreymans and the House in the middle and so forth to try and get the ball down there deep to give the Dylan Riley's first use of the ball, and so there'll be a lot of pressure on the Lauderdale defence this quarter. So this, as silly as it sounds, the second quarter could sort of decide the way this game goes. I think.
At quarter time, it's Lauderdale 2-2-14 to Launceston 1 goal straight 6. We're back here on City Park Radio and the TSL live stream in just a moment.
Play your cards right this winter with new LPG deals from Elgas. Whether you're moving in or you're settled in, make the switch online today. From LPG account credits, fixed pricing and carbon offset options, Elgas has got you covered. Don't lose out this winter. Visit the website, choose your new deal and sign up today. Go online, www.elgas.com.au. Elgas, local, safe and reliable.
A sponsor of City Park Radio.
A recreation of one of the greatest live albums of all time will be showcased this July in Tasmania. Peter Bird and the 30-piece Tasmania Pop Symphony Orchestra will be bringing Neil Diamond classic Hot August Night to the stage. All the hits recreated in their original format from this epic live album. Friday, 21st July, Princess Theatre Launceston. Saturday, 22nd July at West Point Casino, Hobart. Tickets available now at both venues' box office or online.
A sponsor of City Park Radio.
What if I told you there's a job out there where you can really make a difference? Where you can inspire others and be inspired? Where your workmates make you laugh constantly? Not only that, but you could work from home, set your own days and hours, and find financial freedom. Sounds too good to be true, right? Well, it's not. If you love working with children, join our Thrive Group family and become one of our family daycare educators. Give us a call on 6341 1555 or visit thrivegroup.org.au. Thrive Group, proud sponsor of City Park Radio.
You're listening to great TSL action, Tasmanian State League football, on City Park Radio.
Welcome back to Windsor Park with Dave Moore, Rob Soward, Maxie Walker, Dave Gruber on stats, and our boundary riders are still in amongst the huddles there. There's the quarter-time addresses are still underway. The score here is Lauderdale 2-2-14, leading Launceston at 1 goal straight 6 earlier today in the D-League. It was Launceston 6-5-41 to Lauderdale 5-7-37. Big win though for the Bombers in the under-18s, 13-21-99 to 1 behind 1 point for the Blues. Okay, Max, I think Lauderdale did start to get a fair bit of the ball in that second half of the quarter. They probably are below par as far as the margin's concerned, but they started to look a bit dangerous up forward.
Yeah, they did, and like we said just before the break, though, I think it all came from just putting a bit of additional pressure on the Launceston defence. We've seen a few times there at the beginning of the quarter, Launceston had multiple options. They were playing one back, and it just gave them a chance to outnumber Lauderdale. But from about halfway during the quarter, I'm not quite sure, couldn't really tell the tweak that Lauderdale did, but all of a sudden it became more accountable footy for the Launceston guys, and they got the score on the board.
They've been served very well across the half-back line. I think Dave touched on it a little earlier. Served very, very well by guys like Raglioni, Shuki and so forth. They're taking some telling marks though. Yeah,
and they've got a bit of size back there, I mentioned in the call, because there's no Jake Hines today, so they're lacking a bit of height up forward. Chris Say just emerged, I think, from the Launceston huddle.
Yes, Jake Hines is down here wearing moon boots, so he's looking on intently. Mick Swap was quite happy with that quarter. Of course, wet weather football, so I'm in the way here. Josh Gillo's full-back, so Dylan Riley's on the board. He's up front. He's up the forward line, and just Josh Gillow is hanging back full-back line. Mick Swap asked the question, how did they get that chest mark at the end? You know, when the ball went over the back, they've got to read the wind. They've got to use the wind because they're kicking with the wind, and they've got to use it this quarter to their advantage. And you notice the lights are on down here too. Yep.
The lights are always on with you, mate. We don't ever say that.
Tony Webb, what do you got for us?
So very pleased with that defensive effort in the first quarter there. Called for more back in this half. I reckon the pressure's really going to be on. They want to stop Launceston getting over that. Tied up and let the ball in a lot, calling for a lot of stoppages. Just a very big effort call for, but very pleased with the way it's gone so far.
Now, Tony, we haven't mentioned the change in the coaching today for Lauderdale.
That's right. Alan Christensen's not here today, so Adrian Broomhall is to stand in coach for a moment.
Okay, so Adrian Broomhall, the coach today for the Southern Bombers. Thanks, boys, on the boundary. We're about to get underway in the second quarter.
Just got a little message in from Jeff Foley, David, that City Park Radio being beamed around the world. The Kenny's, Liam Kenny's parents in Vietnam sitting there listening and watching the stream.
Fantastic. Second quarter underway. Here's Rob South, City Park Radio Sport.
Tom Beaumont drives it long inside the forward 50 there for the Blues. We've said it was good in for him. The Blues he is. That ball bounced and gone through from behind. So straight away at the start of this term with the breeze behind them, Launceston deep inside the attacking zone, but unfortunately coming away with a minus score. So as Maxie Walker said, half-time's going to give us a bit of an indication about what's going to happen. Tyler Martin brings that back into play. Launceston another look there. Long. Oh, just off line there from Liam Jones. Probably had a fraction more time. One thing that you hope doesn't happen, guys, as we sometimes see, it's very easy when that breeze is behind you just to blaze away. So I'm sure Mitch Thorpe said to them, take your time, be steady, to take advantage of that wind. Got a replay there, driven back in by Davies. Long kick, and that's a really, really nice mark taken there by Hayden Smith. He'll be important today too in the ruck for Lauderdale. Ball sits up, big fist on it, bouncing around there near the boundary line. They scored it over. They scored it over there, just around from the scoreboard. Early stages of the second quarter. Launceston with that strong breeze that the boys have mentioned. And Lauderdale will be doing everything they can with that back line that defended well in the first quarter, trying to hold things up and keep those attacking blue forwards at bay.
Smith wins the tap. Down to Polfriman though, takes it away. Munger's the punt towards the attacking 50 line. Great mark, Hyatt. Hyatt now for goal. Riley in the goal square, doesn't need to take the mark as Isaac Hyatt's kicked the goal. It's a lovely mark in a contested situation there, right on attacking 50. And then it's played on the left foot, sailed through on that breeze. And that's the first goal for the second quarter to the Blues. And scores a level here now at Windsor Park.
And that was probably the difference between the first and the second quarter. Those long kicks that Lauderdale managed to get in there, they didn't find a target. And Hyatt then just used his body, held his opponent out really well, turned, so the drop of the ball was on his side and played on as finished off with his lovely little left foot that he has.
And Adam Polfriman there read the tap out of his old Western Storm teammate and Smith. Sharked it, sent it forward, resulting in a goal. There's Polfriman again. Second clearance in a row. Up here towards half forward. Fighting hard as Beaumont. Nobody can pick it up. And it's going to be a ball up on the front edge of the centre square. The Blues in attack. And the change players just warming up in front of us. No major injuries so far in this game. There's Wagon again at Polfriman. That's 3 clearances in the last couple of minutes. Kicks a bit sideways though. Here's Jones with the bigger Tyler Martin. They both see it over the boundary for the light pole. Left half forward for the Blues. We've had all the play this quarter. Dave Gruber, 4 inside 50s to 0. Don't think the ball's hardly been past the centre for Lauderdale. Siggins back on the ball. Smith wins a tap once again. Taken there by Joseph Wheeler. He can't escape. Now it does come out. Polfriman again. Big influence at the moment. Left foot Tyrrell. Gee, that's a good smother by Reece Sutton. The veteran there with the right hand. He sees the ball out of bounds. Still underneath that light pole. We've been playing 3.5 minutes in the second quarter. 2-2-14 apiece.
That's where that the on balls are going to be missed by Lauderdale. When you see Polfriman getting off the leash like that, with the breeze behind them, they're looking very dangerous, the Blues. Go in, just outside the Blues 50. Towed forward, as we've said, with a footy. It's okay. Picked up there by Jones. And just fought it over the line. Lots of red and black jumpers there, Dave Moore.
Yeah, Nat Franklin is a real in and under on ball, isn't he, Max? And he's someone they do miss today.
Yep, it's quite evident. It'd be nice to have him at Hayden Smith's feet to just collect those balls and, real bull of a player, just breaks those tackles.
So Groenewegen flying solo a bit at the moment. Sam Siggins takes that one forward, finds touch. Insufficient intent.
No, he's out in the full, Rob.
Oh, on the full, yeah. Just missed that one there from where we are. I jumped onto that one, fellas. I
you love it.
the other night. Long inside 50 there for the Blues. Punched away by Tyler Martin. He's been very busy in the early stages of this quarter. But we've talked about the fact that it's where the footy, but just that idea of just moving it forward really quickly, not overusing it. And Launceston certainly doing that as it's thrown in again. Lauderdale desperate to clear it out. Quick kick out. Ball bouncing around there, lots of bodies around it. Very contested in these wet conditions. And the umpire's going to say that's mine, and he's going to ball that up about 60 metres out from the Launceston goal.
It's the second time Sam Siggins has cleared defensive 50, but they ain't getting the connection. Get it further up the field. It's a ball up. Sutton is tackled. Both Groenewegen and Kenny lay the tackle on their Lauderdale opponent. And Bryce Walsh, another ball up. Left half forward.
A bit of a rolling maul, isn't it?
Absolutely. Lauderdale will be happy with that. They just want to try and go into half-time around about the same score as Launceston. They can pitch a goal the other way. They'll be very happy with that. But at the moment, they haven't really got it past halfway, as we said, in the first 6 minutes of the quarter. Up it goes once again. Hayden Smith with the tap. He's doing pretty well in the ruck. Siggins. Kick goes over his head the wrong way. Chance there for Bryce Walsh. Lauderdale player there tackled. See the water, surface water there on the camera, those watching the screen. Still coming off the surface. It has dried out a little bit. But we haven't had a lot of rain probably since about half time in the Development League earlier. Another ball up. Smith again, but he keeps getting those tap out sharked. This time by Liam Jones. It's forced forward. Riley escapes. Canny for goal. Liam Canny. He's offline, but he puts the Blues in front. 2-3-15. They lead Lauderdale 2-2-14.
Launceston just need to use that breeze. Oh, that one's just been marked inside the boundary by the Lauderdale player there who comes back inboard. It's okay, taken there by Shaw. Looks up. Plays on. Nice long kick here towards us. Players fly. Gets the bodies around the footy. Hold for him in another quick kick into the forward line. Bounce might do him. Look at Mark. Taking that inside the field of play. I wasn't too sure about that one. It's been taken inside the field of play by Dylan Riley. On the wrong side for Dylan, but that's okay. He likes a goal. He'll run around here, which he does. And misses, just sneaks it in for one behind. So a little bit hard to see that one, but Riley's taken that one just inside the boundary line. Launceston go on to 2 goals for 16, leading Lauderdale 2-2-14. Just approaching 8 minutes in the second quarter. Nice mark taken there by Hayden Smith at half back for Lauderdale. They really haven't looked in any way threatening once they've got to this point in time. It's been chopped off and driven back. We'll see if this is going to tell a different story. Umpires found a mark end or a free kick. Looks like a free kick, I think, for a holdout. That's okay for Lauderdale. Looking promising. Another free kick. Mark plays on quickly. This is the first inside 50. Hines pushes his opponent out of the way. Hines tackled now. Holding the ball, no. Umpire has found a free kick, a high free kick. And it will be a free kick to Jaden Hines, his Lauderdale opponent. Took him rather crudely there, Max.
Yeah, third man in. Wasn't necessarily even to go in there. It was going to be a ball up and he dived in and jumped on his head. So wasn't real smart play then by the Lauderdale player.
Paul Freeman, good kick. He's going to get it back there from his teammate in McCormick. Nice long kick forward. Chopped off by Lauderdale. It's going to be all right though for Liam Canny. Keeps it moving forward. Great to see Launceston, as I said, the wet weather footy, moving it forward at all costs. Lots of bodies around the footy at the moment. Certainly not a pretty open game to watch, but it can't be in these conditions. Lauderdale have really got to get some body in and around because Launceston are so dangerous going forward. Umpire balls it up. Groenewegen and Smith. It's been a good battle today between those two. Lauderdale player held without it, Winter. Umpire said that's okay. Storp's calling for deliberate out of bounds, and the umpire has said yes, that is insufficient intent.
I guess they've started playing that. We had one on Oh no, the other one was on the full, but that one was quite obvious. So they've just got to be consistent with that now, with the insufficient intent, because I reckon there'll be a lot of it today. Really good mark there by Foley.
Foley on the wing.
It's got better every time we see him, I reckon, Sam Foley.
Plays on, or sells some candy there to his opponent there in Thomas Francis. Kicks towards half forward. And a mark taken there by William Broomhall. So Broomhall kicks wide. Mark taken there by Tyler Martin. He kicks towards half forward. Chance for their first inside 50, or the second inside 50 of the term here, because they can get it forward. Launceston repel the attack. Long kick, 2-on-1-2. Launceston players spoil each other. Lacks the fortune as it spills to Conor McCormack. He gets it to a teammate. Bailey Gillow, he's got a lot of space. Chips it forward, and Liam Jones is right inside 50, deep. About 25, 30 out. Slight angle. Great footy there by the Blues. It was a 3-on-1 contest there in the middle. Even though the two Blues players flew against each other, Conor McCormack was at the fall, and he got it forward nicely. So Liam Jones, he's been dangerous up forward this year. Plays very well here on Windsor Park. Here he goes. Approaching the man on the mark now. And this for the second goal of the quarter for Launceston. He's judged it nicely. Liam Jones, he's put it straight through the middle. And now out to 3 goals, 4-22 Launceston, leading Lauderdale 2-2-14. And we're 11 and a half minutes into the second quarter. And the Blues getting on top here at Windsor Park, Max.
Yeah, they are. It was just the control of the ball then as well. A couple of nice little 30-metre chip kicks. The Lauderdale defenders had to move up, kept rolling up, and which allowed, Powerfman started, I think, and then it went to McCormack, and then McCormack to, I think it was Hyatt, and then found his little mate Liam Jones deep, and didn't let anyone down. Really nice finish.
Back in the middle of Windsor Park, today's broadcast brought to you by Elgas. For all your LPG needs statewide, talk to the locals in Knowledge, phone 13 11 61. Here's Rob Soward.
Siggins back into the middle and got first hand on it there for Lauderdale. Going to be taken away though by his former state teammate last week. House drives it forward. Lots of bodies around the footy, as we said. Towed forward there by the Lauderdale player. Picked up. No. Launceston player lost the handle. Lots of bodies around the footy. It's just not clean at the moment, as you'd expect. I hope that breeze dries things out and we get a bit of cleaner play in the second half. Umpire balls that up just outside 50. On the way, and clever tap over his head. Launceston player got a push in the back. Umpire said no. Dave Moore, I think he's got a score for
Yes, North Hobart Oval. Clarence 4-3-27. Lead North Hobart 3-2-20. And at UTAS Stadium, it's North Launceston 12-11-83, leading Glenorchy 4-4-28.
Looks like we've got the close one. Early doors here. Approaching 13 minutes. Launceston 3-4-22, Lauderdale 2-2-14. And I think we're going to have a series of these ball ups because there's lots of bodies around the footy. Either side wanting just to get it into space and take it away. Wobbling around there inside the 50 for Launceston. Lots of red and black Guernseys around it. They want to hold it up. They certainly won't want to let it out because, as we've seen this quarter, once that ball gets into open space, you've got players like Kenny and Hyatt and Paul Freeman can get their hands on it. It doesn't augur well for the Lauderdale Bombers. Another ball up, another replay ball up. We're going to get here. I think we've had about 5, Dave, in about a minute and a half.
Well, it Grooves' a stat sheet here. He's got 12 hit-outs to 4, so we've had at least 16 of these in 13 minutes. So from the ball up, Beaumont with strength. Steadies for goal. Tom Beaumont. What a goal that is. Right on the boundary line. The young Tasmanian Devil player, late inclusion, threw it on the boot from the angle and it's gone straight through the middle. That's the toughest shot he can get in these conditions, Max Walker.
My word it is, Dave. And just the skill and the poise of him. Knows where the goals is. Goal of the day so far, Dave. Can't say much about those good ones because the good ones are good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's strong play too. Like he just took the
he's
game
really
on.
Strength.
Yep.
Like he's got a great core body strength where he just holds his ground really well. Also, and whilst he was off balance on that occasion, he's got when he holds his ground, he's really firm and very hard to get through him. Had some couple of good games with the Mariners, the Devils as captain, and think he's been in the Allies as well, so shows quite a bit and looking to step up to the next stage.
A good tackle on house by Sutton. Gronewagen, little kick. Oh, smart play, Polfram and Canny. It's a volleyball spike straight to in. Canny inside 50 again. The Lauderdale defence is under siege. Tyler Martin there, but Jones gets it to Presnell, and Presnell kicks it out of bounds on the full.
That's a bit of addition, double whammy for Lauderdale, Dave, isn't it? The plane gets cancelled, Launceston get Beaumont back, and Lauderdale lead two of their best on-ballers at home.
Now, what's happening here? We've got,
I didn't see what that was for. I thought it was out on the full.
I think Presnell might have been pushed after he got rid of the ball, so it's a kick downfield to Dylan Riley. The dangerous Dylan Riley, left foot, snap, across the face, misses everything.
Didn't learn from his last one, same result.
Yeah, it's only just after Presnell got rid of the ball, I took my eye off it, so I only surmised that he got some contact afterwards. Dave Gruber shrugged his shoulders. He usually sees everything, Grubes, but he missed that one. Inside 50s, 11-1 in this quarter, Rob.
Very, very telling. They're certainly taking advantage of that breeze. There's another one of them there. Lauderdale have just got to stem the bleeding at the moment. We praised their defence in the first quarter into the breeze. They were very, very good, their defenders, in holding up the Launceston attack, but under siege, and Launceston's approach to moving it at all costs is really paying off at the moment. And Lauderdale are just hanging on at these stoppages. They don't mind how many of these there are because it stops the ball getting out into open play. Anyway, this time there is a kick to open play, and that's a diving, potentially a mark, but not paid. There to Kobe Bennett. Ball's moved on. Promising forward foray here from Lauderdale. Ball bouncing around, going to be all right for them. Lots of Launceston bodies piling in there, holding it up. The umpire says that's mine, but it's the furthest forward they've got for a while, Lauderdale. They really just haven't looked like it into the breeze this quarter, so we did find that they owned the last 5 or 6 minutes of that first quarter, so they'll be hoping for that here as they keep it moving forward. Launceston gather, take it away. Good kick forward there from House. Might find touch. It's a hand on there by Nick Raglioni, escorted over the boundary line just in front of the scoreboard, which reached 4-4-28 Launceston, Lauderdale 2-2-14. Double their score, 17 minutes gone, second term, Dave.
City Park Radio tonight, Rob, at Elfin Sports Centre for the Tornadoes versus Diamond Valley, after a big win last night by our Tawns against the Keilor Thunder down at Ulverston. Boundary throw in. Deegan Madden giving a chop out in the ruck at the moment. Siggins also, he wins the tap. And we're going to get another stoppage here. So umpire lets it go a little bit. And he will now ball up. Today's umpires, Hamish Johnson, Mark Tuckett and Nick Merritt-Smith. And the Bev shows on the boundary today. Jacob Bevis of Sporting Identity in Tasmania. His social media stuff. Tap out comes out here nicely towards Walsh. Off the ground. Almost a little throw there by William Broomhall. And so it's now out of bounds.
I think what we see, Dave, at the moment with the ball on the ground so much, it's only going to get more and more of that in the second half as the players get tired, the balls get heavier. So just got to get used to seeing it on the ground a bit today, I think. And interestingly enough, Launceston have employed the same tactic as Lauderdale in kicking it off the ground.
Bombers inside 50. Price gets the handball now towards Polfram. They clear it now towards their attacking 50. Quick transition with the breeze. Little handball over the top here looking for Rackett. He falls over. Taken there by Bailey Gillow. Lovely handball to Caddy. Open forward line ahead. 1-on-1 Riley. Oh, gee, that's a good mark in front though by Tyler Martin. I think it is back there. Or is it Raglioni? Pick it up in a minute. I think it might have been Raglioni. His kick's not great though. Might end up with Sutton. Tries to get the handball to Walsh. Can't do so. Handball back to Liam Canny. He's open. 35 out. Liam Canny. His parents in Vietnam wouldn't have been happy with that kick there as he kicks it out of bounds on the full.
It almost ended up in Vietnam, that one,
did. But no, he's playing well, Liam Canny, doing a great job at the moment. He's one of those on-ballers at the moment, Canny, Polfram and etc. that are really winning the clearances for the Blues. Tyler Martin in the back pocket. Hits it long into the breeze, not a bad kick, gets good distance off the hands of Foley. House is there, releases the ball towards Gronewagen. Underground handball taken by big Hayden Smith. He's tackled to a standstill. In fact, he gets a kick away. Probably shouldn't have got it away because he got it straight to Price. Back to Ship. Now with Hyatt, dangerous left foot. Gets tackled at the last moment. Good pressure there from Lauderdale. Still in a dangerous position here for Launceston. Snap on goal. And that was the number 24, Wheeler. And he's kicked it out of bounds on the full.
Been a bit wasteful, haven't they, with those? Blazed away. Missed a couple out on the full.
So the ball has to be retrieved as it sailed beyond the cars there. Score is 4-4-28 Launceston. Lauderdale 2-2-14. The Blues 3 goals to 0 in this quarter. It doesn't seem a big lead, 14 points, but on a day like today, in these conditions, it's very handy indeed. Kick now towards the boundary line. Gee, it's nearly going to sail over. What does the boundary umpire say? Off hands. As getting to it there was Thomas Francis for Lauderdale. So boundary throw in attacking 50. And boundary umpire doing a good job with this breeze. Gets it in. Hayden Smith with the tap. Reece Sutton's tackled. Look at some of Dave Gruber's stats while we've got a moment. Inside 50 is 12-2 this quarter the Blues way. They're winning that. Clearances 10-6. But Lauderdale with the hit outs at the moment. They're on top in that stat. Big Hayden Smith late inclusion doing pretty well. Ball in contested position here. Diving in there is Ackroyd for Lauderdale.
This is what Launceston's doing really well, Dave. You've got Josh Gillow just a kick behind the last defender, just so if Lauderdale do get the opportunity to get a couple of runs in play, all they've got to kick to is Gillow.
Yep. Yeah. Blackburn's only one flying the flag there for this contest for Lauderdale, but they might get a chance here with a free kick. Rob Soward for City Park Radio Sport.
They really need, you think, Zai Ackroyd to do something here with this, and you'd hope that a forward foray for them will result in the score, because they really need to get a score into the breeze. Topped it up. He's picked Beaumont out perfectly there, like he's deliberately tried to kick it to him. Beaumont, long left leg inside 50. Lots of Lauderdale players around it, and that's okay. It's gathered there, taken away to the far side of the ground. The foot race is on. Keep it in play. Bobbling around, lots of bodies. Boundary line wins.
That breeze seems to be getting up a little bit, Max, and I suppose that the glimmering light here for Lauderdale is if they can use it in that third quarter and get in front, there's still a chance in this contest.
Yeah, and they'd be reasonably happy. We're nearly into time on here in the second quarter, and Launceston only kicked 2-2 with the breeze, whereas they've kicked 3-4 with the breeze, but it's still it's not an insurmountable lead that they've got there at the moment.
Bryce Walsh, now it was out of bounds before he kicked it, probably lucky because fell in the lap there of Jamison House. A lot of surface water over there in front of the Lauderdale change rooms.
Sort of get the feeling though that Lauderdale haven't looked like it when they've been going forward, have they, into this breeze?
No, and we just saw that kick there from Zai Ackroyd before it, hardly got any distance with it, so that breeze is starting to take an effect here. House kicks with that breeze inside 50. Here's a chance. They can't quite pick it up there. Inside attacking 50. It might have been shipped there. It's a long way away from us here in the gloom. In fact, it was young. No, it was Tyrrell, in fact, number 13. Had the opportunity, just fumbled at the last moment. And everybody descended upon him to cause this stoppage. Not a very high ball up on that occasion. Canny gets tackled. Off the ground, attempted there from Fletcher Hooker. So it's a rolling wall. Siggins off the ground, intelligent. Gets it to the centre of the ground. No one can win the contest here. And it will be another ball up here at Windsor Park. And you think of curators on this day, on these sort of days. I drove past this ground during the week. Looked green, looked in good condition. And now, 3 games of footy, 20 mils of rain, and there's brown patches everywhere. And of course, those brown patches will persist for the next few weeks.
We should be thankful that there's no cricket pitch left in the middle anymore, Dave.
Back in your day, Max, that black mud, as Rice Walsh takes it.
Wasn't that long ago.
Back in the 80s.
I was going to say, I think it was still black and white TV when it was.
He's up, man.
There's a few photos behind us Max is featuring on here. It's an old Launceston player in your younger days, Max?
Yeah,
one of your many clubs?
Spent 2 or 3 seasons here as a under 12 and under 14 player, David, yes. Yep. And one of very few clubs that I played.
Comes out to Conor McCormack. Now to House. They string a couple of possessions together here, Launceston. Ricochets back to House. Does he get pushed in the back? Umpire says no.
They've often put that type of free kick away now, haven't they? Like that would have been ridden in the back, 12 months ago.
Up it goes. Wagon with the tap. Bryce Walsh is first there. He gets tackled from behind. And as he did at North Hobart last week, he was in every contest. 10 possessions, I think, Gribbs in that first quarter. Bryce Walsh. He was one of the players early on that really kept Tassie in the game. Siggins falls over, lays the tackle. And there's a trip paid to Siggins here.
Took his legs out, so a bit unfortunate, but the free was there. Brought in to protect the guys and their knees when you slide in and grab the ball and take the legs out.
Covered in mud now, Sam Siggins. Kick holds up in the breeze. Gee, that's a good spoil from Pfeiffer. As that man, Bryce Walsh, is tackled again.
Interesting use of Pfeiffer, isn't it? Like when he first came in, we saw him as a ruckman, and whilst we get the opportunity to watch Launceston and North Launceston a lot more, the last probably 6 or 8 weeks he's been a permanent back, not had to go into the ruck at all, and not renowned for his kicking, but obviously Mitch sees something in him back there that can add to their backline.
Absolutely. Pfeiffer and Madden are great inclusions, tall, and they throw them around a bit. We saw Madden in the ruck, as Dave noted, giving Gronewagen a chop out. The umpire's found a free kick here. Bryce Walsh. He's going to have to carry them on his back. That's a big up and under sort of a kick. Punched away there by Smith. Batted forward by Lauderdale, trying to get an opportunity to drive it inside 50, but ball eludes Palfreyman. It is going to be an inside 50, I think. But no, high on the Launceston player. Umpire's going to pay that downfield, I reckon. It was unlucky.
Liam Canny was the man.
Yeah, he's not the tall. Terrible kick. Ball bobbling around in the middle. Just between the arcs at the moment, kicking to space. Gronewagen taps it forward rather than picks it up. Just not clean football at the moment, not pretty football. The umpire's picked out a free kick and it'll be taken there by Hayden Smith. Little chip kick forward. It's going to be all right though. Sits up in the breeze. You can see there if you're watching on the live stream. That went higher than it went forward.
That was Sam Siggins, the longest kick probably out there on the ground.
It went backwards,
didn't it? Almost went backwards. So, it's risk repeating myself. There's still that chance, Lauderdale in that third quarter, if they can pile on some goals. Gronewagen wins the tap to the 4 of the contest. Players dive in. So not a great spectacle here at the moment. As I mentioned, a lot of rain overnight has left this ground very heavy.
I don't understand the sense of kicking the high ball like that into the breeze.
Half time, short quarter, just 27 and a half minutes. And at half time, Launceston lead 4 goals, 4-28. So they kicked the 3 goals, 4 in that quarter. Lauderdale didn't trouble the scorers, just the 2 inside 50s into the breeze. So they're on 2-2-14. So 3 goals, 4 to no score in that quarter. The Blues got the ascendancy in the contest. It's not over as yet, but the Blues are clearly winning around the contest, Max. And let's have a look at the goal kickers to half-time.
Yep, goal kickers first for Launceston. What have we got? 4. So we've got 3 in that quarter, all singles for the game so far. Hyatt, Jones, Beaumont all kicked a goal in that quarter, and Dylan Riley in the first. And the sole goal kicker for Lauderdale with a double at the moment is Ed Stanley.
Okay, Max, how do you see things at half-time? Obviously, Launceston did pretty well with the breeze there, although Lauderdale did bottle it up in the last 10 minutes or so and stemmed the bleeding somewhat.
Yeah, Lauderdale will be reasonably happy with the scoreboard at the moment. The pressure, like you said, they played a lot over that far side in that quarter, and that slowed it down a bit. It's just going to we're going to have to become accustomed to it, stoppage after stoppage after stoppage. That's a win for Lauderdale when Launceston are kicking with that strong breeze, because we witnessed there that last kick of Siggins where as soon as it hit a plane at a particular height, it just pushed the ball backwards. So it's certainly a very strong breeze out there. But as we can see, young Marty Palfreyman running off the ground there doing his chores for the Lonnie Footy Club. But look, it's far from over this game, and Lauderdale would be chock-a-block full of confidence knowing that I reckon their coaching group will be saying to them, just think about what you saw, how Launceston delivered the ball into their forward line. We were kicking it, we were scrubbing along the ground, we were trying to kick it 70 metres in that first quarter. What did they do? And the result would be they had their eyes up, we had guys leading, we weren't trying to kick the leather off it. and it worked result for Launceston by giving them 7 shots a goal, and ended up with 3-4.
Chris Sayer's got something for us down there on the boundary. What do you got, Chris?
Yeah, just Father Palfreyman was just running off to grab a coffee. It is quite chilly down here. I just wanted to say, I had a quick chat with Sam Siggins before the game, and he was chuffed to have a selfie with the great Dave Moore after the state game last week. He was even more chuffed to have a state Guernsey in his possession. Wouldn't that be special to have a state Tassie map Guernsey in your wardrobe? Wow.
Which one was he more chuffed about?
I reckon the map would be second, wouldn't it?
They were pretty both, actually. He was very happy.
Oh, good. I'm happy to tie that one.
Yeah, okay. And interesting, last week, Bryce Walsh was picked in the side to get in and under because the ground was quite heavy last week. This ground is a lot heavier, and Bryce Walsh is doing much the same again.
Absolutely. He'd be a bruised boy at the end of the game. Chris, we've been talking about the breeze down there. What can you tell us about it?
It's quite swirly and in gusts as well. There'll be times when there's no wind at all, and then it'll come back, and has sort of swung around a bit towards the wing, towards the sheds there, so it's not exactly to the southern end, but the wind is playing a big factor here, as we saw in both those quarters. So as you say, the third quarter is a very important one.
Thanks, Chris. We'll get some more from you at the end of the half-time break. Just quickly, Dave Gruber's stats. Thanks for his efforts here today and keeping track of things, which is not an easy day for a stats man. Hit-outs, Lauderdale 38 to Launceston 24, but the clearances are going the Blues' way, 25 to 18, 12 to 8 in that quarter. Inside 50s, 14 to 2 in that quarter, so it's now 24 to 15 over the day. Marks inside 50, 2 to Launceston, 1 to Lauderdale. Free kicks, 16 to the Bombers, 11 to the Blues. Intercept marks, 8 to Lauderdale, mostly in that first quarter, and 5 to Launceston. We're going to take a short break here on City Park Radio. At the tail end of the break there, we'll link up with Trent Bormala, who was an assistant coach last week in Tassie's big win over Queensland, and also he coaches the Tigers Footy Club. Back here in a moment, Launceston lead by 14 points.
Play your cards right this winter with new LPG deals from Elgas. Whether you're moving in or you're settled in, make the switch online today. From LPG account credits, fixed pricing and carbon offset options, Elgas has got you covered. Don't lose out this winter. Visit the website, choose your new deal and sign up today. Go online, www.elgas.com.au. Elgas, local, safe and reliable.
A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Community Care Tasmania is your local, not-for-profit home care service provider in Tasmania. We deliver a full range of home care services with care and empathy. Our friendly, professional and innovative staff will tailor care to your needs. Ring 6334 0990 or 1300 722 400 and speak to a local. Also, you can visit cct.org.au to find out more. At Community Care Tasmania, we put your care first. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Barrett's Music is proud to support music in Tasmania in many forms. In fact, we've been supporting music in our community for decades. We value music participation in Tassie, so we can help you get started with expert advice on hand. With a wide range of instruments in stock, plus great learning resources and interest-free purchase plans, we can help you discover the music in you. Call into Barrett's at 104 George Street, Launceston, or phone 6331 9355. Barrett's Music, a sponsor of City Park Radio.
You're listening to Tasmanian State League Football on City Park Radio.
Welcome back here to Windsor Park. It's round 13 action in the TSL. It's Launceston 4-4-28, leading Lauderdale 2-2-14. Just quickly, before we get to Trent, we'll go around the grounds here and into the third quarter now here at UTAS Stadium. Just get an update on that score. I think it's a little bit old. Here we go. 12-13-85 the Bombers, 5-4-34 Glenorchy. And at North Hobart, pretty close there. North Hobart 6-2-38 lead Clarence 5-4-34. A pretty big game in the context of the ladder, that one. Okay, it's half time here and it's time to welcome our special guest on City Park Radio. And it's none other than the Tigers coach, Kingborough Tigers coach and the Tassie assistant coach, Mr. Trent Bormala. Good afternoon, Trent.
G'day, Dave. How you going, guys? And always a pleasure to be on with you guys.
Oh, no worries. Well, looking at the conditions here, it's probably a good day to have the feet up and in somewhere warm.
Yeah. It looks like a pretty tough going for the guys up there. You know, fair bit of breeze from what you guys are saying, and heavy ground. So, yeah, it's nice to be inside.
Look, mate, we'll talk. We'll have two parts to this interview. I want to talk first of all about last Saturday and that fantastic win by Tasmania over Queensland. What are your reflections, 7 days later, on the day and on the performance of the Tasmanian team?
Yeah, I think, you've heard a lot of the guys say who've been interviewed how special it was, and I think that's the sort of word that you always come back to. I know for me personally, when it's all said and done with footy, that'll be one of the days that sort of I remember sort of forever. So, it's always an honour to be involved with, in whatever shape or form, representing your state. And, we had the best of the best, and those guys really came together as a single unit. And, all the things that were surrounding the game as well. And, they all took it in their stride. And, came together and put on a really strong performance of what Tassie footy looks like and how Mav wanted the guys to play. And, for them to do it and all in their moments step up, it was something very honoured and very proud to be a part of.
Three-quarter time, obviously the game was in the balance pretty much the whole day, really. But at three-quarter time, Queensland had squandered a couple of chances. Jacob Townsend had missed a couple of goals. What was Mav's message at three-quarter time to bring the game home and get over the line?
Yeah, I think at the three-quarter time it was just more about sticking to our processes and what we wanted to do. There were a couple of little things that we did differently. With Brad Cox Goodyear trying to get him up around the ball a little bit more and come through stoppage, which gave us forward momentum. And the guys in front of goals took their chances in the last quarter, which was the important thing. I think Heinz's goal, when he sort of grabbed the jumper, and, that was a really big sort of pivotal turning moment. And then obviously at the end, Sigo came up with a pretty special play to put us in front, and we were able to hold on.
I suppose from a coach's point of view, Trent, I mean, you're plotting to bring the downfall of some of these guys most weeks, but what was it like to be on the other side, to harness the talents of some great footballers you usually coach against?
Yeah, I think, for me, being an assistant coach, it was just a really good experience, but also working with Mav, but also Aaron Cornelius and Adam Bester. It was a really good collaborative coaching group, and not having that sort of weight in a sense where, what I probably normally act like on a Saturday or during the week in the lead up to it. It was a really good experience, and, my role was to, make Mav's life easier and whatever he needed to try and provide that to him and look after our midfield group to the best that I could. And, I think the guys did a really great job.
Obviously, Trent, your head was in the game during the day, but did you get a chance just to soak up the atmosphere and the crowd and, what the day meant to Tassie people?
Yeah, I think so, and I think that was one of the important ones. I know one of my messages to the midfield group pre-game was to make sure that they just took a minute to themselves in the lead-up to soak all that in, but also, sort of just really reflect on and understand the opportunity and what the occasion was. And, it became pretty big, with the crowd and the lead-up, and, you can carry a lot of that weight, but I thought the guys did a really good job of just also being respectful of the opportunity they had to represent their state and together. And, you've got to soak that up, because for a lot of the guys, that's the biggest crowd that they've played in front of, and that sort of atmosphere as well. So, I think that's what goes along to making it a very, very memorable experience for everyone that was involved.
Trent, Max Walker's here. Got a question for you.
Yeah, g'day, Trent. Just a quick question, moving away from the state game. I'm interested in how young Jake Williams found his way to Kingborough. He's a boy from up north here, went south to play cricket, so he's pretty handy with the bat. I think he ended up at Claremont for a little period of time when they were struggling 2 or 3 years ago. Give us a little bit of background as to how he's landed on your door.
I'm sorry, I just missed that one because, there's a fair bit of static on the line, and struggling to hear you guys at the moment.
That's all right. Jake Williams. His story about how he's ended up
Jakey
at...
Williams.
How he's ended up at Kingborough Tigers.
Yeah, obviously, Jake's a few of you guys up there know. I know the first time we played Lonnie and on the call where you guys mentioned bit of connection with Jake as well. He's a ripper. Like he sort of obviously he's been playing at Claremont in the SSL for the last couple of years as well. And while he's been pursuing his cricket, because obviously he's a very talented cricket player, we just sort of got word through some mutual, acquaintances really, or that Jake was looking to play some TSL footy and take a step up in his footy this year. And it was a really quick process. I think I got in contact with him, met him on a Friday, and he'd agreed to come on board by the Sunday. So he's been a fantastic addition. He's a great leader. He's a really smart footballer. Really probably fills that hole. I'd compare him, we lost Sammy Digan this year, who's doing some travel overseas, but I think he plays a really similar role that Sam played for us. He's that crafty half forward who can go inside for stints, and he's hard and tough, and he only plays one way, which fits in really well with our group. Yeah,
it's pretty handy acquisition just to hear about, and the other sort of guys, especially the younger ones who have never tested themselves at the highest level before. For him to take that chance, he could have quite easily just kept rolling along in the SFL and so forth, but he's put his hand up, so credit to him and to you guys, the way that you've taken him on board, and what he's giving you guys is great.
Trent?
Yeah, that's always fantastic. We like to think that those guys that come up from the SSL, like obviously Jake's a little bit of a different one that came out of zone, but James Dyson coming up this year, who I think is going to be a super player at the level, and getting James Webb up from Cygnus, who's obviously got a fair bit of TSL experience as well. So to see guys want to step up and play at the highest level in the state is sort of, we'd like to think that we provide an environment where they want to come to, and so far so good with getting those sorts of guys. Obviously we've seen it with Jordan Lane the year before, hopefully we've got a system and that guys can come and play good footy in, and the step up's pretty easy for them.
Now Trent, you've had a couple of weeks off, including this Saturday of course. And now you had a few guys involved with the state game that have had a game in between, but how have you used this 2 weeks off to freshen up and get ready for the back half of the season?
Yeah, I think that's the key one. Like, freshen up's a really good word. Having that 2 week break for some guys has been really good. So, especially sometimes having the first 2 weeks of July off, when the weather, and you look at the ground today and those sorts of things, that's probably sometimes not the worst thing. The guys who've been involved in the state program, obviously they've had a pretty light week this week. They've done what they needed to do in terms of their recovery, but also can give them a mental break as well, and that extends to myself as well. My assistant coach has done a fantastic job while I've had these state commitments with running our program and keeping everything on track. So, but now, we come in, we know that the run home, so that's the whips are going to start cracking now, which we're all really excited for. We've set our season up really well to go to a double bye, being 9-2. We feel like that's a really good foundation where now we can, we want to be playing our best footy at the end of the year and take the lessons we learned out of last year and try and get them right and see if we can go one step further this year.
It's a really interesting ladder at the moment, isn't it, Trent? I mean, even Glenorchy almost spring that surprise against Launceston, but I suppose the other 6 teams on any given day, they can compete against the top teams like yourself and North Launceston.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of the competition this year. Obviously, we saw Glenorchy have a really strong performance against Launceston a couple of weeks ago. These 2 games today, Launceston and Lauderdale, and North Hobart and Clarence at North Hobart, they're sort of really those old classic 8-point games sort of scenario, and the ladder starts to take shape, and obviously at the moment up in North Lonnie are there sort of neck and neck. Probably after today's result, just only percentage separating us, but I think it's really exciting and it's great for the competition. It's really even, and anyone can beat anyone on any given day.
Fantastic, Trent. Well, the umpires and players are back out on the ground. We're not far away from resumption. Congratulations again on a fantastic season. You've backed up well this year with the Tigers. and they're looking the goods again in season 2023. And once again, congratulations with your involvement in that famous win last Saturday.
Cheers, thank you very much, guys. And, you know, as I always say, thank you guys very much for everything that you do with your calling of the games. It really adds an element of professionalism to the competition, and, you know, always love tuning in and listening to what you guys have got to say and how you go about it. So thank you.
Thanks for your kind words, Trent, and all the best.
Cheers, thank you.
That's Trent Bormer, the coach of the Tigers Footy Club and assistant coach for Tasmania. We might not go to a break because we're not far away from a resumption. So I do have the stats, thanks to Damien Donnelly and Darren Lovell from the Launceston Footy Club. I'll get to those in a moment because I can see our boundary riders down there. They have emerged from the rooms. It's starting to cloud over again. What do you got for us, boys?
Yes, it is starting to cloud over. I think those lights are coming into play very soon. It's getting quite dark as well as cold down here. Our Launceston coach, Rich Thorpe, was quite happy, of course, at half-time. He says it's all going to start from the centre bounce. It's all going to sort of be played out from the centre. And time management, he stressed how they need to manage their time because of low-scoring games. Scores have to count. Take your time kicking for goal, and so time management is also very important. And no injuries that I can see. Jake Hines was having a chat, because he's an assistant coach, isn't he? So he was having a chat to the players, and just hand it over to Tony before the rain comes.
And the rain comes at that point. Look, Lauderdale were reasonably happy and not happy at the same time. The new coach, or the acting coach, should I say, Adrian, said that given the way they panned out, it's pretty pleased with the way the quarter reacted. It also felt they were outplayed for that quarter, so to be only 2 goals down at half-time, he actually said, I'll take that any day. Again, he repeated the message that he gave them at quarter time, in that they're not playing around the stoppages too well. They want a lot of stoppages, especially that quarter against the wind. But he says Launceston quite often are still getting the extra man up there for the ball coming out, and he wants them to stop that. Just a lot more concentration on the ball and make sure people get to the contest and at least get it one-on-one, especially when they see situations where the teammates have been outnumbered.
Great summary there, Tony Webb, as the players are taking up their positions. I've got just 10 seconds here to talk about the Launceston stats, thanks to Damien Donnelly and Darren Lovell. We've got, let me see, Jamison House, 14 possessions, Brody Polframan, 15, also 11 to Liam Jones, 12 to Tom Beaumont, 14 to Liam Canny, 11 to Sam Foley. So a lot of those on balls, Max, are getting a fair bit of the ball.
They certainly are, Dave, and as we get away here in that third quarter, over to you guys.
Rob Soward.
Bryce Walsh first hands on, and you get the feeling if Lauderdale are going to win this, they've got to kick 5 or 6 goals with this breeze in this quarter, because we saw what Launceston did with it. Ball still in the centre square, towed forward there for Lauderdale, just outside 50. Blues in the right spot. Lauderdale player picking it up there. That was Fletcher Hooker. Quick kick forward into the forward pocket there, first inside 50. Boundary line wins that one, Dave Moore. Yeah, look at the radar here, boys. We're going to get a little bit of rain here. A shower or two is going to pass through, so it's going to make conditions even heavier. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but as we've said, Lauderdale have just got to take advantage. Mitch Thorpe is right. It starts in the middle. They've done very well out of the middle all day. That's where Lauderdale are really going to have to lift their game. Umpire's found a free kick. No, he's just asked the boundary umpire to throw that one in again. 14 possessions to Sam Siggins to half-time, the Lonnie Stats guys tell me. So he's got his way into the game. He was quiet that first 10 minutes, but moved on to the ball, and he's now rucking here for the Bombers. I like him better. I'd like, if I can, Smith in the ruck, and I'd like him around the footy. Anyway, that's a quick kick forward there, and it's taken on the boundary line by Reece Sutton. He's moved into the long sleeves. He's got the long sleeves. Sure, he had the short sleeves in the first half. We did hear the other night on the football, Damien Hardwick, not a long sleeve fan. Foz, obviously he would have gone crook at you, a former long sleeve exponent. Moves in, and that's almost ended up in the bus behind the goals. It probably is cogent for us to message too at half-time. Jeff Foley, whose son Sam plays here, long-time player, told us that we're being viewed in the Three Dragons Bar in Vietnam, Dave Moore. Oh, that's fantastic. City Park Radio and the TSL live stream going to Vietnam. Hope you're enjoying the coverage, guys. Big thump away from the back from Dylan Riley. Falls to Polfran, can't pick it up. Sutton, quick kick forward. It's going to spill out of bounds. So boundary throw in. So some interesting games in the TSL today.
And that's really tight at the moment there between North Hobart and Clarence. Let's get a little bit of an update on that score. It's 4 points the difference at half-time. The Demons in front. Boundary throw-in. It's going to go to the back here to Sutton. He's hovering. Can't quite get there. Player tackled there was the number 17, Ned Shaw. A lot of Lauderdale boys wearing long sleeves today. Usually the long sleeves are hard or easy to pick in games, but when half the team, it's not quite as easy. As Hayden Smith is tackled. And another ball up. So sitting at half forward for the Bombers. A lot of players around the contest. Ball emerges out the back. Little kick sideways from Connor McCormack. How does the ump read that? Boundary throw in. They're being a bit linear today, guys. I suppose it's the conditions, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good to see that they're playing to the conditions. And in case the listeners and viewers are wondering, Dave, 100% of the people in the Three Dragons are on the Blues bandwagon.
They are. Yes, indeed. As it's falling short, this boundary throw in. Falls to Palfreyman. Kick skews off the side of the boot, but he does get territory right in front of Mitch Thorpe, who applauds the kick. He's happy they get another 30 metres closer to goal. Boundary umpire, Brodie Lang, throws it in. Nice high throw-in with the breeze. Gronawagon to Canny. Canny tackled. Tries to come out. I see his head emerging out of the scrimmage, but it's going to be a ball up.
Launceston won't mind this at all. I mean, they can have 400 of these this quarter because Lauderdale doesn't take advantage of the breeze.
Lauderdale simply must be in front by some margin at three-quarter time. Canny to half forward, but falls in the lap there of Tani Suki, who takes it on the 50-metre defensive line.
He was good in the first quarter, Suki. He's picked out his teammate there in William Broomhall. So Lauderdale have got to craft something here. They've got to look creative. Got to move it forward at all costs. Umpires found a mark end or a free kick there. Sam Siggins picking the ball up, and it's going to go to him over Jamison House. Teammates last week and opponents today, and it's been a good battle. Pumps it long. Bounce just land just outside 50. It's going to be all Blues here at the moment, though. Good kick forward. Bobbling around. Lots of bodies around the footy, as we've said all day. It's okay, though. It comes out for the Blues. Little hack kick forward there. Kenny. Not Hyatt. Kenny, sorry, Hyatt. Paul Freeman. A little clever kick back to Hyatt. Hyatt in turn, another little clever kick. And he's picked out Liam Jones, who I reckon, guys, is really underrated by some people, but certainly not by the City Park Radio commentary team, and certainly not by the Launceston Football Club. He is a very, very clever player.
It needs a very, very clever kick to put this one through. I think, guys, we're right behind it here, but he's nearly going to have to aim just left of the closest goalpost, I would think, with the way that breeze is blowing.
So,
and give it an almighty roost.
Liam, our Cameron's right behind this on the stream. He's going to go sideways, Rob.
Runs around. Oh, sits up. It's going to stay in play, though, but punched out by the Lauderdale defence.
Just a couple of quick ones. Some fairly significant milestones in local footy up in the north here today for the listeners. Clinton Byrne from the Campbelltown Footy Club is playing his 250th game, which is a great feat. And Sam Graham, game 300 for the Longford Tigers. So great work to both of those guys, and obviously a big commitment to the clubs over the years.
Still an attack here. Connor McCormack's got it. Handballs over the boundary line. Yes, Sammy Graham, ex-St Patrick's student. Wasn't a bad cricketer in the day either, Sam.
Yeah, Cressy Bulldogs Premiership cricketer as well.
It's great to see that loyalty, isn't it, guys, that people playing that many games with the one club.
Boundary throw in. Front of the balcony there, where we usually are on the Windsor Function Centre. Now that might be high. Paul Freeman thinks it is. Now it's holding the ball. It's the other way around.
Golly, it's hard, isn't it?
It is.
It's hard to pay them on days like this as well, because it is 50-50. Like, you know, it's got to be, if you're going to tackle someone, it's got to be 100% certain that where you are tackling. It's pretty easy to slip over the shoulders in this sort of weather.
Tom Francis was the tackler there. He kicks it outside defensive 50. Got to get some scoring opportunities soon here at Lauderdale as Tyrrell kicks it, but it's marked there by Rackett just inside the boundary line. Young Finn Rackett, I think debuted last year in the seniors for Lauderdale. He kicks it low. Up the wing. Siggins, strong mark in these conditions. One grabber. And the 45 kicks a beauty to Sutton. Now can they get something going? Reece Sutton. Now he plays on around the mark. Low to Walsh. Fellow veteran in the side. Walsh plays on. He goes towards half forward. No one at the full except for young Ryan Shipp, who takes the mark on defensive 50. Goes short to Polfram with a nice kick. Rain getting a little bit heavier. Now to House, who can't quite grab the mark. He'll be under pressure. Tries to get it back to Polfram. Reece Sutton. Tyler Martin. Long kick inside 50. Oh, almost a good mark to Gillow. Coming through his Blackburn, who might have got Gillow high. Mopped up in defence now by the Blues. Kick out here towards Presnell and Jaden Hines. Beats them over the boundary line, but good work there by the Blues defence. Once again, they outnumbered the Lauderdale players, Max.
Yeah, I think there's just not enough Lauderdale players staying at home for those long kicks, which they've been doing all day. So I'm not quite sure what instruction they're giving their players, but if they're going to kick it long, you would like to think that the Lauderdale blokes know that it's going to be kicked long, so they're back there to get it.
Just on the paint at 50, boundary umpire throws it in. Siggins and Gronewagen do battle. Toe poke inside 50, could be something on here. Shot on goal. It's going to be okay for Lauderdale though, and that's a fantastic goal. That man Ed Stanley, he's kicked the score, Max. Third goal of the day for Ed Stanley. Lauderdale move on to 3 goals to 20, and day trail Launceston 4-4-28. Just ticking over 9 minutes here in the third quarter. Yeah, they'd like to think that they could get a few more options, but he's really been the only one that looked relatively dangerous around the goals at the moment. And from the moment that little handball got popped up over the Launceston defender, had it written down in the book before he kicked that one, it was never going to miss. Left foot, little snap.
Players all day, Max, had trouble getting effective kicks out of stoppages. Sam Siggins that time.
Yep.
He got the 40-metre kick forward and set that one up. Back in the middle, Smith with the tap. Sutton, who's coming into the game. His kick smothered though by House. House's kick smothered by his teammates. Siggins goes off the ground. Runners required. Who's going to get there first? Launceston through Gillow, diving on the ball. Lauderdale player did pretty well there. He's ridden to the ground, play on. Coming up here towards Tate Winter. He overruns it. Jesse Price with a kick to half forward. Oh, it stops in the puddle. Off the ground there by Tom Francis. Has he got anyone in the end of it? Jeremiah Perkins overruns it. In back play, it's Foley with calm play. Tries to find Presnell. Almost picks it up. Well done, Francis. Does well. Picks it up. Handball to Fletcher Hooker. Was under all sorts of pressure. And easy from up here, but young Tom Francis probably should have just thrown it on the boot there. Got it forward. He did the little cute handball and put his teammate under pressure.
Wet weather footy. The kick would have been the difference.
We now got a stoppage. From the ruck hit out. House with strength. Can't get the effective kick away. Canny off the ground. Only goes as far now as Sutton. House strong. Out now to Polfram, who will kick it forward. Into the dead pocket there. Over the back. Little handball there from Max Skelly. Couldn't find a teammate. Out of bounds.
It's great to see the umpires using some, common sense. It's very wet. The ball's very heavy, like Max said, like a piece of soap. That, on some days could have been paid a deliberate out of bounds, insufficient intent. But not today, which is great.
Bounty throw in. Bounty umpire's doing a great job today with his long, high boundary throw-ins with the breeze. A big factor. Players laying on top of the ball. Does emerge. Polfram again. 15 possessions to half-time now. Dylan Riley off the floor. Little kick by Suki. Raglioni made a contest of it. Comes back round the corner by Skelly. And that's a fine mark by Tyrrell in these conditions. Front of the scoreboard. And they're going to re-in a 50 here into the breeze are Launceston. Holds up in the breeze. Good spoil from behind by Francis. At the full though, Launceston. Polfram over the top. Hyatt. Jones. Can he get on the boot? He can't. Dylan Riley can. And I think he might have kicked it. It's for a behind. So close in. There were Launceston with the handballs.
Too many handballs.
Too many.
Yeah.
So one behind. So the Blues now 4-5-29. Lauderdale 3-2-20.
Bill Chambers runs his full measure and just punts the thing forward. Just in front of us here in the Thurlow room at Windsor Park. Launceston trying to get this one back though. Lots of players around the footy, Dave Moore.
Yeah, just going to say, well, before it's a holding the ball decision, that was the first score into the breeze since quarter time.
Yeah, it's probably indicative of how strong the breeze is. Jamison House moves it on quickly in the direction of Groenewegen. Front position, not going to be marked. Polfriman off the ground. Moved on quickly there. Kenny, a Hyatt I should say. Quick kick forward. That looks okay. Oh, just the wrong side of the post. Just the wrong side of the post. Lockie Presnell looked all right off the boot, but that breeze, a factor. Bill Chambers is going to go again. Big long kick here towards us. Pack of players. Off hands, Jamison House, as he's done most of the day, gathers the possession. Nice contest there, just on the 50. Lauderdale player, slow to get up in Max Skelly. He's going to be okay though.
Isn't Jamison House relishing this ruck rover, old-fashioned ruck rover type role?
Oh, look, it suits him down to a T, doesn't it? Just in and under, and it's just about pushing the ball forward. That would be his directive today. Just keep moving the ball forward. Doesn't have to be pretty. Just keep it going our way.
He's matched up with his fellow Tasmanian teammate Siggins at the moment. As Walsh lays the tackle on Beaumont. Then we'll get another ball up right in front of us here.
It's tailor-made for him today, Jamison House, this sort of day, eh? Big strong body around the footy. He'd be loving it. He'd want it to rain every week, I reckon.
Smith wins the tap towards Siggins, but wearing him like a glover's house. Siggins gets back again, though. Quick kick forward. Tyler Martin in the contest. Going to fall to Francis. Taps it forward. Now Walsh gets a kick out nicely. Teammate there in William Broomhall, son of the coach today, Adrian. Gets it forward, and young Curran, who was a late inclusion. Tom Curran, number 53. He kicks it forward, but that's a terrific spoil there from Ryan Shipp, who started his senior career as a little forward, but he's now moved down back and has done a pretty good job back there today.
It'd be great down there if Tom Curran uses that Lauderdale beach a bit, because there used to be a bloke called Tom Curran who was handy on the beach, wasn't there?
Yeah.
He's a pretty handy surfer.
Yep, also I think an English fast bowler, Tom Curran, as well. Or was that Sam Curran? There might have been two of them. Boundary umpire Bevis comes in a fair way from the boundary line. Can they fashion a shot on goal here, Lauderdale? They need it. They need to get in front by three-quarter time. Falls to the front of the contest. Players dive in left, right and centre.
That just shows how strong that breeze is, isn't it? He came in like 20, 25 metres there where, the ball would probably normally only get to there. So good, smart thinking by the boundary umpires there.
Bryce Walsh, as he was last week at North Hobart on the bottom of the contest, but he didn't release it. He's penalised. So one of the tacklers there will get the free kick. Quick kick forward, that's Liam Canny. Oh, height went before acceptances. Didn't infringe. Little handball there from Finn Rackett, tried to disguise it. Mitch Thorpe wants deliberate. The umpire says throw it in.
What do they have to do here to get themselves back into the game? Like, it's 15 minutes into this third quarter. They're still 10 points down. They haven't kicked a goal since the first quarter. Haven't scored since the first quarter. Well, sorry, they've kicked one goal in
2 quarters
in this
of
quarter, yeah.
Yeah, just got to get something going here. They did come home late in that first quarter. If they can get a run on, there might still be a chance in this contest. But nobody's getting it out of these contested situations.
I like the idea that they've got Smith and Siggins around the ball now. I mean, you've got to play Siggins almost as just another on-baller and let Smith ruck.
It's only they're only winning the inside 55-4 this quarter, the Bombers. Here's Polfriman now. Inside-out kick. 2-on-2 contest. Thumped away. There was Fletcher Hooker. He couldn't pick it up. Jesse Price gets it 40 towards Hyatt, who's dangerous. Now to Riley. Back over to Hyatt. He stays in play. No. Umpire Bevis. Right on the spot. Said it went over the line. Lucky for Lauderdale because Hyatt was away. You listen to City Park Radio 103.7, 96.5. Thanks to today's sponsors, El Gas, for your LPG needs statewide. Talk to the locals with knowledge. Phone 13 11 61. Jacob Bevis full of concentration with this boundary throw in. Does okay. Siggins tries to take out of the ruck like he did at North Hobart last week in that famous last goal. Ricochets there to Hooker. Blind kick. Jaden Hines can't take it. Blackburn's drifted up the field. Little toe poke. Gets it to Broomhall. On now to Perkins. Perkins off the ground looking for Tyler Martin. They can build something here. Martin round the corner kick. Looking for the dangerous Stanley. He's kicked 3 today. Atkins falls over. Ship gets tackled from behind. And they've got themselves another inside 50 here, but we saw them in this pocket a few minutes ago and they just couldn't fashion anything like a shot on goal.
Now, I'm not sure if it's helping their cause either, Dave, by just having so many people around the ball. Seegans takes it out of the air, kicks it higher than it goes further. Palfreyman toes it forward. Oh, swing and a miss from the Launceston player, but that's going to be okay. It's going to come out for them here now, and they're off to the races in the agency of Hyatt. Little chip kick to no one, almost to himself, like primary school footy. Oh, it doesn't sit for him. He's gathered on the boot. Oh, unfortunate. He did it all himself there. It was just like back in the schoolyard days. Kicks it forward, gathers, kicks it forward, gathers, shot on goal, and unfortunately for Launceston, no dice.
Had his little mate there too, didn't he? Liam Jones. They were trying to work it out between who's going to mark this, who's going to kick the goal. They probably had it thought out too much before they actually got it, as the intent was there. But good defending then by one of the better guys, old Tane Suke, as well.
Bell Chambers went to shore, back to Bell Chambers. He's driven it along. Gathered on the wing there by Launceston. It's going to come back. Oh, courage there from the Lauderdale player in Shaw. Drives it forward, but chopped off across half back by the downfield. I didn't see what happened there. Asking the question, but anyway, umpire's found a free kick, and it's going to be Ed Stanley driving it along inside 50. Wing carries it. Seegans, Stannies. It's going to be okay for Lauderdale. It's going to be okay. Still alive as we approach 19 minutes in the third quarter. Launceston 4-7-31. Lauderdale 4-2-26. Maxie Walker. To say that they needed that goal is the understatement of the day.
It is the understatement of the day, Rob, and just quick ball movement again. Probably a bit lucky with the downfield, but it was a little bit late, the tackle on the Lauderdale bloke at half back, so I think it was Stanley got the mark anyway at half forward flank there, got it moving again. Seegans just gave him too much room then and allowed him to snap across his body about 30-35 out. And didn't look like missing, so a much needed goal, and another 2 or 3 would be really handy here in the next 6 or 7 minutes.
A faint rainbow forms at the background here at Windsor Park, and there's a faint chance here for Lauderdale if they can get in front by three-quarter time. Great goal by Seegans. Beaumont now with the ball though, driving it forward for Launceston. Taken by Hyatt with the right hand. Right foot, ugly looking kick towards half forward. Nearly a one-handed mark there. Taking him back playing, I think that's Tom Francis. There's a few long sleeve boys with the long hair today for the Bombers.
Real commentators, not
No, it was Steinbauer. It is, absolutely. It was young Steinbauer. Up it goes. Seegans again. Can't take it away with him. Launceston happy with this. 20 and a half minutes gone. Based on previous quarters. We've got about 7 minutes left. And they've kicked the 2 goals in this quarter.
I reckon they need 6.
Yeah. I've been in games where you just get in front at three-quarter time and then form the wall, park the bus, and anything can happen. Off the ground here, Raglione. Second time. Chasing after it, though, is Tyrrell, who picks it up. Raglione lays the tackle pretty well. Play on. Had a fair while there, did Tyrrell. So Seagulls are circling. And they're making themselves heard here at Windsor Park.
I think there was one of Sam Allardyce's Premier League tactics, wasn't it? Park the bus.
That's it. Now, a player thrown out of the contest. Now, is that 50? Palfreyman. I'll tell you what, he's lucky if it's not. And the umpire sets the mark, though. Gives Palfreyman the benefit of the doubt. It's Reece Sutton with the ball. He's right on the defensive point of the centre square. And need to get something going here. 21 and a half minutes now. He's going to go the long option. Fades with the breeze here towards Seegans, who can't quite take the mark. Merges now with Walsh. Number of players dive on the ball. Gives me a chance to get Dave Gruber's stats. Inside 50 this quarter, 7-6. So Lauderdale just tying up that stat with the breeze. Hit outs. Lauderdale continue to win that one 15-8. And they're in front of the clearances 8-7. It goes again. Siggins takes it. Releasing kick to Sutton. Play on. He tries to get another kick forward. It's rough and tough in there. Jamison House with a kick forward towards half forward. Hyatt takes possession.
Hyatt takes possession and throws it onto that trusty left. That's a clever little kick. Oh, collision there. Lauderdale defender impacting. Quick hands out. Gets it back. Runs into the open goal. Liam Jones! That's a great passage of play. Probably the passage of play of the day there by hand. The Blues players linking up. And the ever-dangerous Liam Jones. A very, very valuable goal into the breeze. Taking Launceston on to 5-7-37. Lauderdale 4-2-26. Max Walker.
Yeah, look, it's a game killer, isn't it? Their desperation is there for Lauderdale, but just the finish isn't, and just the outnumbering there. You know, Dylan Riley, Jones, Hyatt, you know, they're all involved. You know, every goal that they've kicked, it's not a solo effort by anyone. They're all just continuous teamwork for which is a good thing for Mitch to have up his sleeve, where they're not relying on one or two people. They're all just chipping in, doing their little bit, and not too fussed who's kicking them.
Come September, Max, Jones and Hyatt are going to be exciting on those big grounds in the good weather.
My word, they will be.
So off the ground by Gronowag, Shark by Sutton. Sideways kick here, looking for Broomhall. He's in a one-on-one with Jaden Hines. Jaden Hines gets there first, although William Broomhall wins the contest. Now to Walsh. Walsh gets the 50, long kick towards goal. It might carry the contest. No, great defence there, Campbell Atkins. He got the fist to the ball and got it through from behind. Yes, Max.
Just a quick update down at North Hobart. Clarence's kick skipped away, Dave. 39-71 there. And over at Utah's 115-42. North Launceston 115, Glenorchy 42.
Okay.
Jaden Hines brings it back in. Oh, big fly there from Ned Shaw. Came down without it. And free kick there to the Launceston player, but he certainly got some spring out of the mud. Shaw, fly of the day there. Just go slow here from Launceston. That goal's really hurt Lauderdale, and I know if we were in the Three Dragons in Vietnam, there would have been a big cheer go up when Jones scored that last goal. It's a nice kick forward there, and a very, very good pack mark taken by Bryce Walsh. Moved on quickly, which is what they've got to do now, Lauderdale. They've really got to move it quickly and score quickly. But the Blues defence holds firm, drives along back into the middle of the ground. Walsh, clever tap. Ball in under all those bodies. Umpire just letting it go, but going to say it's mine. And he'll ball that up on the wing position, Dave Moore.
I've been ignoring the AFL score. Chris Ball did send me the score at half time, and it slipped my mind as a fellow Brisbane supporter, until the Tassie team comes in for me, of course. Brisbane 92, lead the Eagles 21. So, Chris, those Lions are doing pretty well. Kick to half forward, almost a one-hander to Jaden Hines. What's the umpire say? He was holding on, I think. So, against Ed Stanley, who's the leading goal kicker on the ground with 3. Liam Jones, the Blues, with 2. Hines, 45, kick. Broomhall's there, but getting there well is Lockie Presnell. He nearly kicked a magnificent goal earlier this quarter. He goes wider, looking for Campbell Atkins. Laid that spoil. Almost single-handedly saved a goal there a moment ago. He's got a lot of calls from these fellow Blues players as Campbell Atkins. Up towards half forward, front position, Wheeler. Spills to Hyatt. That's almost holding the ball. It is. Incorrect disposal. And Max Skelly will relieve for Lauderdale. We're getting close to three-quarter time. It's the Blues by 10.
Clock going to be the enemy of Lauderdale here. They really need to pile some score on. And that's a great mark, Jamison House. Not that you want to influence the votes, but gee whiz, he'd have to be close to being best on the ground today. So far, he's been terrific. House, long kick into the breeze. Back in the... Oh, that's a...
Skelly.
Skelly again. He's recovered well from that heavy knock he took earlier. Got something there for us, Max?
Yeah, just we talk about rivalry in footy. Probably one of the biggest rival games in the north of the state. It's happening out at Longford today. Bracknell versus Longford. And three-quarter time, it's Longford 3-9-27, Bracknell 4-3-27. So game on out there at the Longford Tigers.
Let's get some low scores today, I think, Max.
Oh, if you kick 6 or 7, 8 goals today, you'd be very happy with it, I would have thought.
If you're Lauderdale, you're going to need to pinch one here as we head to the 29-minute mark. Launceston 5-7-37, Lauderdale 4-3-27. and they're going to have a look at it here. It's gone forward. Oh, Lauderdale player dropped what he should have taken. Towed forward, but in the direction of the boundary line, and Jeremiah Perkins, a bit too much mustard on that one. Sam Foley says, see you later. Jaden Hines will take the relieving free kick there. He's saying he just wants to slow it down. He's had an eye on the clock. Mitch Thorpe's waving his arms. Jaden Hines, experienced player, drives along in our direction. Sam Foley with a fist on it. Quick kick forward there off that stoppage from Lauderdale. Back to Hines. And will be a boundary throw-in.
Deloraine Georgetown's interesting game, Max. I don't know if you can jump on the Deloraine page there and see.
It was half-time.
Okay.
Georgetown, I think it was about 9 to Deloraine 27.
Oh, okay, so I thought Georgetown might have been able to pinch their second win there, but...
Yeah, no, Deloraine were in front.
Boundary throw-in. Groenewegen wins the tap. Colin McCormack, big first quarter, a bit quieter since, gets a kick away. Well, tackle from behind there was Rackett. Here they go, the two youngsters, Hyatt and Jones. It's a foot race to see who can get there first. Jones, does he pick it up? He sockets it off the ground, and again, and he misses. He hits the post. So they try to work out who's going to be the striker there, Jones and Hyatt. Jones with a bit of extra pace, got the front position. He probably had a chance to pick it up, Max, there, and one of those kicks off the ground.
The puddle, gave the puddle, did he?
Yeah, the water killed it.
Okay, he's going to come back in now through Palfreyman. He goes short, and the siren's going to beat the ball over the boundary line. It's three-quarter time here at Windsor Park, and at three-quarter time, it's Launceston 5 goals, 8-38. They kicked 1 goal, 4 into the breeze that quarter. They're leading Lauderdale 4-3-27, who kicked 2 goals, 1. Just to outscore their opposition by 2 points there. So they're going to three-quarter time with an 11-point lead, which should be comfortable enough. Lauderdale still have to be confident that they could fashion something, but you'd think the Blues, Max, are probably in the best position to win this game.
Yeah, absolutely, Dave. It's in a low-scoring game to be able to kick another 2, which is probably half their score again, and hold the team kicking with the breeze goalless. It's going to be a big ask. We've seen stranger things happen in footy. We've seen stranger things happen at this ground, but they must have a bit of confidence amongst themselves, Launceston, to be able to just run over the top with. They've built themselves around the self-confidence and the belief the last 2 or 3 years that regardless of the stage of a game, regardless of the scoreboard, that they know within themselves that they've got the personnel to be able to do it. And it's going to be really critical those first 2 or 3 minutes. If Lauderdale can just keep pushing it forward into that breeze, keep the ball low, maybe bring it out this side a little bit. We've seen Launceston attack on this side and do very well. Those last couple could have been an easily another 1 or 2 goals there for Launceston. That last one was a bit unlucky, like we said, it hit the water. But look, Launceston probably in the box seat here at the moment to win this game. But full credit to Lauderdale. They've hung in there all day. It hasn't been pretty by either side. There hasn't been any great passages of play, but entertainment has been there, so that's good. So not over yet.
Rob, goal kickers.
Goal kickers for Launceston. Liam Jones, he's got 2. That was his second that quarter. And singles to Isaac Hyatt, Dylan Riley and Tom Beaumont. And for Lauderdale, it's been the Ed Stanley show. He's kicked 3. Sam Siggins adding that very important goal that quarter, Dave. So all in front of Lauderdale at the moment.
Three-quarter time stats thanks to Dave Gruber. Hit-outs, Lauderdale 55 to Launceston 36. Not sure why Hayden Smith would ever be out of this side. Max, from what I've seen today, he's a good old-fashioned ruckman. He does win them a lot of taps.
Yeah, look, I suspect that he came in for a couple of late changes today, but today's a perfect day for him. And we've seen him in the past as well. Like, he's got the endurance to run around the ground as well, but today's really suited him, and he'll always give 100%. There's no one bigger, as in physically, in the competition, so it is a bit of a strange one as to why he hasn't been in the seniors a bit more.
You pun. Lauderdale 12 clearances to 8 in that quarter. 33 to 30 for the Blues over the day. Inside 50s, Lauderdale 9 to 7 in that quarter with the breeze. Marks inside 50, 4 to Launceston, 2 to Lauderdale today. So not a big day for marking inside the arc. Free kicks, 21 to Lauderdale, 17 to Launceston. Intercept marks, 11 to Lauderdale and 9 to Launceston. Thanks to Dave Gruber. We're a bit slow taking a break here, so we better do so. It's three-quarter time here at Windsor Park. Launceston 5-8-38 are leading Lauderdale 4-3-27.
City Park Radio acknowledges the Taranatapana, Panana and Lidaramarana peoples of Lutruwita. They lived along our riverways, including the Kanamaluka, in harmony with the land and the seasons for several thousand generations. And today they are remembered as the traditional owners of this land. NAIDOC Week allows everyone to learn more about our First People heritage, culture and history, and to participate in celebrations of the oldest continuous living cultures on Earth. May we all continue to learn, live and share the story of country.
Is inflation eroding your nest egg? Income Direct can help. We assist Australian seniors and retirees to keep ahead of inflation with fixed income accounts. Our team is Australia-based. Our clients love our competitive interest rates, and there are no fees. Conditions and risks apply. We encourage you to seek independent financial and legal advice before choosing Income Direct. Visit incomedirect.com.au or call 1300 798 334 to speak to one of our team members about how you can put your capital to work today. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Play your cards right this winter with new LPG deals from Elgas. Whether you're moving in or you're settled in, make the switch online today. From LPG account credits, fixed pricing and carbon offset options, Elgas has got you covered. Don't lose out this winter. Visit the website, choose your new deal and sign up today. Go online, www.elgas.com.au. Elgas, local, safe and reliable.
A sponsor of City Park Radio.
You're listening to Tasmanian State League football on City Park Radio.
Yes, the team here, Dave Moore, Rob Soward, Max Walker, Dave Gruber, and our two boundary riders, Chris and Tony, who are down there now. They've escaped the huddles in the weak sunshine here at Windsor Park. Chris Sayer, what do you got for us?
Mitch Thorpe says that the game is going to be played on their terms, Launceston's terms, this last quarter. He pointed out individual efforts. Campbell Atkins in that last quarter, previous quarter, right on the defending goal line, was a fantastic effort. He also mentioned Emerson House, in and under. Much like Lauderdale proud themselves of doing that, and Launceston is matching them, and they're confident they'll get through this last quarter. Here's Tony.
What Lauderdale want to do is try and cut out this extra play that Launceston seem to be able to get to the contest. There's a couple of times they've had one of their players come up from the ground and they dragged the play out, but that's only been a couple of times. He wants to see more of that. He also wants them to run and spread a bit and try and use the ball a bit more cleverly instead of just sort of throwing it on the boot and kicking it straight off the middle, to look for the switch when it's on. So try and play a bit more cleverly. Doesn't say they're out of it, but the wind is still there. It's probably not quite as strong as it was at the start, but it's still a factor.
Thanks, boys. Run away in the last quarter. At the first stoppage, I'll get to some of lots of individual stats. But over to you, Rob Soward.
Bryce Walsh with the first win out of the middle, and he's driven it forward for Lauderdale. It'll be cleared up by Launceston. Oh, desperation there. Body over the footy. Lauderdale really need the first goal here, and they've certainly shown some good intent. Players like Bryce Walsh, as we've said, is just it's built for him today. Big, strong body, wet day. Really need to get something from him, and they really need that first score. Quick kick forward by Siggins. Sits there near the mud, behind the pole in front of where I'm at the moment, and cleared away in a nice fashion there by the Launceston player. Could have been a high kick, a high tackle, sorry. Palfreyman gathers. Heads out wide to McCormack. Mark taken there by Isaac Hyatt. He's been really good today. Back to Palfreyman. And he's put a nice kick forward and found Hyatt inside 50.
Dylan Riley.
Great mark taken there by Dylan Riley.
I think it was Liam Jones who got that first kick.
Jones to Hyatt.
Jones to Hyatt.
We've called them a fair bit today, haven't we? Both young players with bright futures here at the Blues. Dylan Riley, the other end of his career, been terrific. Runs around on the right side for him this time, but he's he'll say that's a pass, I reckon. Just waiting to pick out who that is.
Bailey Gillow, Rob.
Bailey Gillow.
The number 10 on the back.
Dylan missed everything there, but he'll say he actually kicked that to Bailey Gillow, who's marked it in the other pocket. And he's going to run around as well, I reckon. Very difficult shot. And he's going to almost kick it back to where Riley was. So that Bruce playing a bit of havoc, and it's out of bounds on the full. So 2 minutes gone in the last quarter. Launceston 5-8-38, Lauderdale 4-3-27, Dave Moore.
Jones at the fore, the ball, handball to Canny, who launches at goal, but he misses. One behind. First score of this last quarter, 5-9-39 to 4-3-27. Bodie Polferman, 23 touches to three-quarter time. Jamison House, 23. Liam Canny with 20. Liam Jones, 19. Beaumont, 17. Hyatt, 14. Hyatt had 9 in that third quarter. So some big possession winners there for Launceston. And Sam Siggins, 23 touches for Lauderdale. Had 9 in the second and 9 in the third quarter. So we've got a boundary throw in now at half back for Lauderdale. They really needed that first goal. Well, I still do. Just to give themselves a little bit of a chance. The breeze can die down here sometimes towards 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Out the back here, Steinbauer. He can't pick it up. Off the ground, House. Quick kick out now from Lauderdale. They had a mark. Did it go the required distance? Gee, would have been close to Reece Sutton. Gee, good tackle laid there on Canny. Not rewarded. Siggins tries to get it away. Players tied now with the heavy conditions. House to Gronewagen. Inside 50, Jones front position. Sport from behind. Bell Chambers is back there. Gets the handball backwards to Shaw. He slips as he kicks it. Canny, good tackle from behind. That should be and will be holding the ball. And the number 32 there, Tate Winter, laying a good tackle. They work it out here now towards Fletcher Hooker, who marks in front of his fellow number 20 in Atkins. Hooker plays on. Low kick here towards Stanley, who's kicked 3 goals. Slides in, takes the mark. They can build something here, the Bombers. He goes wider over here. Looking for Broomall. Takes it on the bounce. Handball backwards. Kick forward now to the attacking 50. Towards Ackroyd over his head. Martin back play. Meets the contest. And sees it out of bounds. And they'll be okay with that, Lauderdale. They get a stoppage with an attacking possibility, Max.
Yeah, look, I was just watching Sam Foley there. Just plays on the edge, doesn't he? Blackburn and him were running back. Nothing untowards in it. Just pushed Blackburn over. Blackburn loses his feet. And Sam Foley gets over to the contest and gets it out of bounds for his team.
From the boundary throw in, Sutton dives in, as does Beaumont. Siggins now kicks towards 40 out. Almost a mark to Blackburn. Off hands. Polferman now to Hines. They clear it out here towards Tyrrell. Tyrrell's bounce is okay. Well done there from Steinbauer to lay the pressure. And then Steinbauer lays the tackle in a 1-2 with Francis. Good work for the young Lauderdale players. They cause a stoppage on the wing. Almost a mark there to Blackburn. Max
yes.
Nearly could have been paid in these conditions.
Yep.
Boundary throw up. Well, not boundary throw up, but ball up on the wing. House now, a little kick forward. Bryce Walsh in there now with Francis. Steinbauer. They fall over. And Steinbauer's going to have a spell as he comes off the ground. But it's going to be a ball up. Slightly attacking side of the wing for the Blues. They lead by 12 points. 5 minutes gone last quarter.
Time's rapidly becoming their enemy, Lauderdale, in addition to this strong breeze we've talked about. So they'll need some things to happen. Hayden Smith, as Dave mentioned earlier, been very, very good for Lauderdale. Big, strong body. Really like that idea of him in the ruck and Siggins around the ball as well. Quality players.
59 hit-outs to 36 today.
Yeah, dominant effort. And Joe Gronewagen's no slouch either. A premiership player, won the medal last year, 2 years ago I think it was. And great effort there from the Lauderdale ruck combination today. Smith got his first hand on it there. House kicks it forward. Close to the boundary line. Boundary line's going to be a winner there. So ball just inching forward at the moment for Launceston, but that's okay. It's at the right end of the ground for them. Paul Freeman, not sure if that's cramp or an ankle. We'll check with the boys on the boundary, Dave.
Round the grounds, the Bombers, Northern Bombers 115, Glenorchy 42, and Clarence 78 lead North Hobart 40.
I'm not sure if that's cramp. I think that's something a little bit more sinister there for Paul Freeman. I'm not sure. He's going to get his head over it now, though. Wrapped up. Umpire said that's mine. He's limping quite badly, so it just looks a bit worse than cramp.
Trainer wants to get out of it, otherwise he'll give a kick away.
Ball up there. Hasn't moved far in the last couple of moments. Quick kick forward there for Lauderdale. And Mark Taken moved on very, very quickly to Reece Sutton. Been one of their best today. Sutton, good kick. Picked out Stanley. Stanley, an inside 50. Almost picked out the Launceston player. That's not paid. I did think he...
Man in front
might have got second hands on it, Max. That's what you're saying?
Couple of mitts on it first.
Unlucky. Nice bit of reflex work there. I'm sure the England fielders could have learned something from that. Ball's gone up there just inside 50 seconds, takes it out. Quick kick forward. Lauderdale need a goal. Handball back inside into the hot spot, or the wet spot as it is. Swing and a miss, but that's okay.
It's that man again.
Okay.
It's that man again. That's his fourth.
He has been everywhere, Ed Stanley. That is just great reflexes. His teammate swing and a miss. Stanley buries that one into the back of the onion bag. Maxi Walker.
Absolutely. A couple of chances there by the Lauderdale guys, but we thought the bloke, can't quite think it might have been Blackburn off the ground in the first instance.
No, Max Skelly it was, number
Skilling,
16.
was it? Yep,
Skelly,
16. Yep. And he missed it and bounced back out, and Stanley said, well, if you're not going to kick it, I'll kick it. And he did.
That's their first score into the breeze today.
Yes, yep.
So it's game on here at Windsor Park. Who's going to stand up? And it could be Lauderdale's season on the line here based on the Clarence getting up today. Well, looks like they're going to get up anyway. So back in the middle of Windsor Park. Important clearance. No one can win it out. It's going to be a ball up and now coming out. Now's House. He's tackled. Valuable handball though. Gets himself 20 metres. Off the ground now up towards Fletcher Hooker. He's clean bowled by it. Good work, Ship. Palm to Pfeiffer. Good work by the young man. Pfeiffer now. Launches to half forward. Player getting underneath the ball there was Skelly once again. The other end of the ground, he couldn't quite take it. Bryce Walsh lays a fierce tackle, as only Bryce Walsh can. It causes a stoppage. Left half forward.
So this is where, I know Siggins is still out there, but I thought he'd gone to the bench. You know, he's so important around the ground, but if he needs a spell, I'd just be sitting him back in the forward pocket, full forward or something. Just leave him out there.
Hit out by Smith, shark by Polfreman. Back to Ship, who's been really impressive today. A couple of really smart things across half back. He kicks to half forward. Coming out with purpose there is Benjamin Steinbauer. Kicks it to the wing.
Ooh.
Tap towards the boundary line. As the umpire read this, boundary throw-in.
Sensible.
So in the gloom here at Windsor Park, I know they're upgrading the lighting here in the not too distant future. But at the moment, the light's not taking great effect. So Lauderdale, with that goal into the breeze, just give themselves a look. They're within a goal. We're on centre wing. No one can win it clear. Beaumont tries to get a kick away. You can see the water coming off the turf there.
There's probably 20 bodies around, 20-odd bodies around the ball, isn't there?
Josh Gillow still the gatekeeper here in defence for Launceston. He's been doing that roll all day. Smith with the tap again. And the dominant ruckman on the ground. But in these sort of conditions, very hard to win a clearance. Bryce Walsh tries to. Another ball up. Inside 50 just quarter. 3 to Lauderdale, 2 to the Blues. I might ask the boys in a moment at the next stoppage about that breeze down there, whether there's been any change to it. Jamison House tries to win it out. Diving in there was Max Skelly once again. Guys in the boundary, whoever's got the mic, what do we read of the breeze down there? Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
Yeah, we're here. It is still there. It's gusting, so sometimes it just drops away, but it is still there, and it is favouring that southern end.
Okay, so it's now going towards that southern end. Got a mark in defence. Taken by, that's the number 32 there, and Tate Winter. Kick comes wider here. Now looking for Tom Francis, who'll get there first, up against Campbell Atkins. He dives on the ball. He releases it out the back. Can they win possession? They might be able to do something here, Lauderdale. Up here looking for Tyler Martin. Oh, almost a great mark to Foley. He might have been grabbed without it too. Conor McCormack gets it to Pfeiffer. Pfeiffer gets past Skelly. Now the handball comes to Atkins. He waits for support. That support comes from Canny. Canny the kick inside 50. But, getting back there in defence is Skelly. Can't take the mark if that's Finn Rackett back there, the number 46. So it's going to be a boundary throw in. Deep in attack for Launceston, Rob Soward.
42 to 15, Dave. You thought Georgetown might have got up. The
Yeah.
final score, Deloraine. Congratulations to the Deloraine Roos over the
Kangaroos.
G-Town Saints.
Getting it done, Deloraine. Deep into the Launceston attacking zone. Gronowagan this time got first hands on. Lots of bodies around it. Ball bobbling around. Lauderdale will want that held in there. We've just ticked over 12 minutes here at Windsor Park. Launceston 5-9-39. Lauderdale playing for their season 5-3-33. Thrown up about 20 metres out from the Launceston goal. A goal here to Launceston you'd think would make it really, really hard.
Pushing the back, Rob.
Umpire's found a free kick
Bryce
here for
Walsh.
Lauderdale. So Bryce Walsh, as we've said, he's been good all day, but really got to give him something here. Nice long kick out of defence there, the far side. One long sleeve player to another, making it difficult for the commentators on the far side of the ground. Lauderdale really needs something here, and they're going to find something. That's clever. Nice long kick forward. Lots of Launceston bodies there. Fists on. Clever. Calm. Nice pick up.
Josh Gillow.
Gillow's kicked at the wrong spot, but the ever-reliable House. Back to Paul Freeman, showing I'm no sort of doctor. Nothing wrong with his ankle. Paul Freeman, little chip kick, taken out there by Tyrrell. Tyrrell trying to set a teammate up. That's missed everyone. Boundary line might be the winner. No, kept in. Back to Paul Freeman. Go by hand to Tyrrell. Clever play. Tyrrell on that left foot. Oh, teammate slips over. Walsh picks it up. Just hacks it into the centre square. Nice mark take there, taken there by Sam Foley.
So Foley will steady things down. What Lauderdale don't want to do here is concede any sort of score, even behind. Whilst they remain within 6 points max, they're a chance to get one up and get themselves level.
A goal makes it interesting for Lauderdale. A score for Launceston makes it hard for Lauderdale.
Hayden Smith battling in defence. Releases the ball. Hyatt, that could be a score here. Hyatt releases for goal, and across the face he scores behind. So it's out now by 7 points at the 14-minute mark.
Handy point, as they say, Dave.
Absolutely. Bill Chambers gets it out of defence and finds Kobe Bennett. Bennett's going to go wider. He's got a target there in Siggins, up against two, and Jamison House nearly outmarks him. Takes the ball from the contest, gets it to the impressive Ship. Ryan Ship, who sees the ball out of bounds. Right in front of the Lauderdale change rooms. You can see a fair number of the D-League boys there. All together, cheering their team on in this dying minutes of this game. Boundary umpire Bevis. Brings it in play. And a wrestler, Gronewagen and Smith. Fresh air shot is missed there by House. Skelly tries to get it away now with Paul Freeman. Kicks it to the goal square, Brody Paul Freeman. It carries the contest and cannons into the post. So they're out now by 8 points. 5-11-41 to 5-3-33. The Blues lead the Bombers. We've been playing 15 minutes in the last quarter.
Yeah, Lauderdale really need a bit of a miracle here now. They are running out of time. Long kick out of defence there. Far side of the ground. Chopped off Jamison House. Fantastic. Real rock of Gibraltar stuff.
Massive
there.
game.
Yeah. Been a great game. Drives it long here for Launceston into their forward line. Lots of bodies around it. Off hands. Moving forward out of defence from Lauderdale. Oh, lots of bodies colliding there. And that's great courage. Great courage. Tyrrell, he's been good in this last quarter, Tyrrell. Experienced player. And he's just taking it nice and easy. He knows they've got the time clock on their side. The ball's at the right end of the field and in good hands. So even shaping up like he's going to have a shot on goal. But no, chips it, looking for a teammate, and finds a teammate in Isaac Hyatt, who has been fantastic today for the Blues. I know that they're about 6 minutes behind, Max, at the Three Dragons in Vietnam, but I can tell you in 6 minutes' time the place is going to go crazy.
My word, should be beers all round on the Heights, I would have thought. If it's not, do it.
Isaac Hyatt approaching. This could be the sealer for the Blues. Goal will make it hard. Strikes it beautifully. Strikes it really, really beautifully. Isaac Hyatt, great goal, which is his second for the day. Takes Launceston out to 6-11-47. Lauderdale 5-3-33, just about to hit 19 minutes in the last quarter, Max.
And Lauderdale didn't fill that space, did they?
No, they didn't.
Isaac Hyde had a heap of territory to run into.
They should have known that he was too far out. Heavy ball, heavy legs. 20 minutes, 15 minutes gone in the the last quarter and was never going to manage to kick 60 or 70 metres when, Tyrrell would struggle to do that on a dry day. You mentioned Jamison House a minute ago. He's basically replaced Harper in these conditions, and the only thing he hasn't been doing, which Harper does, is the ruck.
From the centre, it's kicked out by Sutton. Off the ground, Jaden Hines. Jamison House there again. Back to Foley, who's been huge today. Across half-back. Left foot kick to the wing. Contested ball. Doing pretty well there with Steinbauer. Falls over though. Allows Gillow to pick the ball up. Out to Presnell. Backwards now to Fife. A little fumble. Gets the kick away. Towards half forward. No one can pick it up. Phil Bellchambers can. He's tackled though by Palfreyman. Phil Bellchambers back at the club this year.
Had a relatively quiet one today.
Yeah. First half especially, but he's coming to the game a little bit. Up it goes. Knocked away by Siggins. Here's a chance for William Broomall. He kicks it off the ground. Player dives forward there. Got to push in the back. It's Bennett, I think it is, back there. Kobe Bennett. Kicks towards half forward, but in the way there is that man again, Sam Foley. He's got a man free in Hines. That's Jaden Hines. Jake Hines not playing today. Got a knock on the ankle or the lower leg last week in the state game. From Palfreyman back to Foley, to Tyrrell. All been good players today for the Blues. 18 and a half minutes gone. 14-point margin. Tyrrell in the gloom. Finds House. He dropped to chest mark. No easy marks on days like this. Out they come through Fletcher Hooker. Straight to Pfeiffer at halfback. He wastes no time. He's got the big fella Gronawagon in the middle of Windsor Park. He steadies. He goes wider. Over here looking at Bailey Gillow, whose Guernsey is covered in mud. I can just see the number 10 on the back. He keeps his feet, does Gillow. Falls over now to his knees. He's tackled. Gee, it's getting hard to pick up the players. We're getting very dark here at Windsor Park. But credit to the young Lauderdale player there. Actually wins the free kick. Not in Broomhall. Goes wider. Siggins over the top there with the handball. Walsh. Here looking for Stanley, who's kicked 4 off his hands. Hines dives in. Little handball by Skelly. Blues with it though. House. Long kick to half forward. Over the back, Hyatt. Smart handball to Jones, who fumbles. Comes back there towards Suki. Kicks up the wing. Volleyball there from Canny to Ship, who's caught with it. Gillow does well with a quick kick. Gets 20 metres for his team. Attacking 50 now, Jones. Jones kicks it out of bounds. Now what's happened back on play, boys?
Yeah, not sure there. Bit of push and shove.
We've got a downfield kick. Gillow involved. Steinbauer involved. Just trying to see where the footy's going to end up.
The umpire's pulling it back to the 50 by the looks of things, isn't he?
Yep, it's going to be a free kick where the infringement was made. It's Presnell with the ball. So Lockie Presnell does have the breeze behind him. Now on the mark on about 48 metres. And he comes underneath the light tower. Kicking to the town end of the ground. Falls short. Players fly. A lot of players around the contest there.
They've certainly peppered that inside 50 this quarter, the Blues.
There's one player behind the centre circle, and that's the ever-reliable goalkeeper, Bailey Gillow.
Up it goes. Can they get a snap here at Launceston? Sutton off the ground. Bennett off the ground. Doesn't quite get contact. Launceston players fly out of the contest. There's a player down there. Keep an eye on that. As it's cleared away now by Jeremiah Perkins to space. Attacking side of the wing. There's Josh Gillow, that sweeper we talked about. Back to House. Back to Foley. Gee, they've been strong across half-back in this last quarter.
Palfreyman and Price collided there. Two Lonnie players, both up, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, great to see. I was also pleased to see there was nothing wrong with that ankle either from Palfreyman earlier. He was looking a bit proppy. Bit of soccer work to keep it in there. As Dave Moore said, it's getting pretty dark and lots of mud-covered Guernseys on that far We should ban them playing that far side of the ground when we're here in the Thurlow room. It's a great facility. Should be here every week, I reckon, guys. And afternoon tea would be nice next time, in case anyone's listening.
Just that pole with the camera is our issue. Get rid of it.
Taken out of the air by Siggins for Lauderdale. 22 minutes gone in the last quarter. They'll need a miracle from here. Down by 14 points. Deep into the Launceston attacking zone. Chopped off across half-back. Taken there by Bell Chambers. Moves it on quickly. Not sure if that was a mark. Umpire's found a free kick anyway. That's okay. Lauderdale. Last roll of the dice. Stanley. Moving it on. Beautiful smother. Great smother there. Just waiting for that Launceston player to turn around.
I reckon it's Lockie Presnell, boys, is it?
Yeah,
yes, it is. Yeah.
Great smother there from Lockie Presnell. Lauderdale looking half threatening going forward, but a Presnell smother sees the ball thrown in just inside of, just outside of the coaching area there for the Launceston team. Mitch Thorpe standing just inside there, looking on intently. He'd be proud of his charges with their physicality today around the footy. Jamison House, speaking of physicality, he's moved, taken it away quickly. Dylan Riley further up the ground. Long kick. Mark dropped there by Hyatt. Surrounded quickly by his Lauderdale opponents. Dave Moore's got a score for us.
Yeah, it's final score at UTAS Stadium. 16-19, 115 North Launceston. Glenorchy 6-6-42. And deep in the game at North Hobart, it's Clarence 12-8-80 to North Hobart 6-5-41. So it's kicked out from defence there by Raglione, but only as far as the Launceston player in Conor McCormack. It's starting to rain here at Windsor Park. Hasn't rained as much today as we thought it might. Just had a couple of showers, but just coming down a little bit heavily here at the moment in the dying minutes of this game. Conor McCormack had quite a number of possessions in that first quarter. He's inside 50 now as he starts his run up. 45-degree angle. Sets towards goal. It's always right-hand side there. So it's a behind. 6-12-48. Lauderdale 5-3-33. Don't forget, we're off to Eltham tonight. The Tornadoes versus Mount Gambier. So a quick wrap up from here. And into the Chariot. And off to the Eltham Sports Centre. Kick towards the centre of the ground. House thumps it away. Here's Beaumont, low kick towards goal, icing on the cake here at Windsor Park. Tom Beaumont, his second goal. He kicked a beauty in the second quarter, and that was a calm finish there in the dying minutes of the game here, 25-minute mark, and the margin now to 21 points. They've kicked the last couple in this contest, 7-12-54, now to 5-3-33 Lauderdale.
He's had a mixed day, hasn't he, Tom Beaumont? He's probably prepared himself for a game at Penguin as captain of the Devils this morning, and gets the call that the opposition can't make it due to weather or plane malfunctions or both or whatever, and ends up finding himself playing here seniors today and a couple of goals. So, good.
I mean, he hasn't been part of the planning all week for this game. He's kind of coming cold, but of course he's a talented player.
Yep.
25.5 minutes gone. City Park Radio 103.7 and 96.5. Today's broadcast brought to you by Elgas for your LPG needs statewide. Talk to the locals with knowledge. Phone 13 11 61. And while I've been rabbiting on there, we've got a secondary ball up. Over to you, Rob Soward.
Yeah, lots of bodies around the footy, tired bodies too. Heavy ground, strong wind. It's just a rolling maul. It's like watching the All Blacks back in the day. The 15th phase of control here.
And I don't understand rugby union, but I often see that sort of thing, and then all of a sudden the referee puts a hand up and says penalty, and I have no idea why.
I think it's what goes on underneath the maul that leads to that. A bit of dirty stuff, but not here. Siggins, that's a siren. That's the siren. 28 minutes just ticked over here, and it's going to be the Launceston Blues. 7-12-54 emerge victorious over Lauderdale. 5-3-33. In what probably was an 8-pointer for Lauderdale, and as Dave Moore said earlier in the day, Clarence emerging victorious there, which makes it really tough now for Lauderdale at this stage of the season. But take nothing away from the Blues today. Great wet weather football and a really solid all-round four-quarter effort, Dave Moore.
Yeah, I won't call the Final Four settled now because I do feel like there's obviously a lot of footy to go. We're at round 13. But it's now tough for Lauderdale and North Hobart to make up ground. They'd have to rely on Launceston and Clarence falling off the perch a fair bit. There it is, players shaking hands. I've got my eye on Chris and Tony out there looking for an interview. But we'll do goal kickers quickly before we get to that.
Yep, okay, for Launceston we had Hyatt 2, Jones 2, Beaumont 2 and Dylan Riley 1. And for Lauderdale, nearly a lone effort. Ed Stanley, 2 in the first half and 2 in the second half, finishing with 4, and Sam Siggins with 1.
You've got the record limited time, Max, to come up with your 3-2-1 because we've got to get to Elphin pretty soon after this interview we've got now with Chris and Brady Polferman.
Pulf, that was a real tough slog of a game. You must be happy with the result.
Yeah, really happy with the result. We knew heading into the game that it was going to be a must-win for the season where we're sitting on the ladder, so really proud of the boys. It was a hard slog, and we'll enjoy a couple of days off now.
Yeah. And Lauderdale really get in and under, don't they? So they're a tough opponent.
Yeah, they're renowned for that, and credit to our boys. They put their head over it and really bought into what we want to try and do, so yeah, couldn't be more prouder.
Next week, Hobart Tigers down there, so a big game.
Yeah, down at Kingborough. It's always a tough travel down there, so they're in pretty good form. They've got a good midfield and good behind the ball in Elijah Reardon, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Quick word on last week. How was last week for you?
Last week was really good. The experience, couldn't enjoyed it to play with the best players in the state, so yeah, really, really proud of that.
Sam Siggins, Bryce Walsh, you were teammates last week, opponents today.
Yeah, they were last week, so how the tides turned, but it was a good experience last week and glad we got the win today.
And how does it feel to have a Tassie Map Guernsey in your wardrobe?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. Looking to frame that one up and hang it in the lounge room, so.
Oh, it'll look fantastic.
It would.
Congratulations today. Good luck for the rest of the year.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for the chat.
Thanks, Brady Polferman there with Chris Sayer post-game. Just a few stats things before we get to Max. Jamison House today has helped you with your decisions, Max. 36 possessions. He had 13 in the last quarter alone, 10 in the first quarter. Brady Polferman, 35 touches. He had 12 in the last quarter. When the game was to be won, those two players really stood up. Liam Canny, 23 possessions. Liam Jones, 22. Beaumont, 19. Bailey Gillow, 18. Isaac Hyatt, 18. And Sam Foley was huge across half-back. He had 10 possessions in the first quarter and 5 in that last quarter. And for Lauderdale, Sam Siggins, 30 touches today, so fantastic effort from him. Quiet first quarter, but really came on board with 28 kicks and 2 handballs. Okay, groups of stats today. Hit out 72 Lauderdale, 40 to Launceston. The clearances, we had clearances 41 to Launceston, 38 to Lauderdale. Inside 50s, 40 to the Blues, 27 to the Bombers, 9 to 3 in the last quarter. 8 marks inside 50 for Launceston to 2 to Lauderdale. And free kicks, 26 to the Bombers, 18 to the Blues. Intercept marks, 14 to Launceston, 13 to Lauderdale. Thanks to Dave Gruber, great job on stats as usual. And thanks to the Lonnie Stats guys there, Damien and Darren. Max, your better players, and 3-2-1 before we wrap up.
Yep, just very quickly, Dave. I'll start with Lauderdale. A bit of a theme amongst both teams here, but thought Ed Stanley was outstanding. Their sole forward for the day, kicking 4. Tony Suke, I thought, played really well in the first half. Filled it out a little bit after that, but certainly was up there and in it. Bryce Walsh in and under really, really well. And Hayden Smith was quite good in the ruck as well. You know, the hit-outs, can't remember exactly what the end result was there. But
72 to 40.
Yeah, so, very very strong there. And Sam Siggins as well led the way for
30
them. 30
touches.
touches, absolutely. For Launceston, it was really their small brigade today that kept them in the game, and their on-ballers. Liam Canny did well, Isaac Hyatt did well, Liam Jones did well. Obviously, Brady Powerfin with his 30-odd touches did well. Seth Pfeiffer, I thought, did some good things across half-back when the ball was in his area, which was good. And Lockie Presnell did a couple of good things as well. And Beaumont in and under as well for his 2 goals. The theme there, all in and under short guys. It wasn't a game for the big fellas today. For the votes, going to give 1 to Sam Foley, because I thought his game across half-back was exceptional today, probably one of the better games that I've seen him play in senior football. 2, Sam Siggins, kept him in the game all game, just not enough soldiers around him. Be really interesting what the difference would have been if McGuinness and Franklin had come up and just had that bit more grunt and direction out there. May have been a different result, you don't know. And 3 votes to number 27, who's come back to the club, Jamison House. I thought he was in everything, every part of the day.
Thanks, Max. Thanks to you. We'll see you in a couple of weeks for the big derby back here at Windsor Park.
Yes, we will. Up here in the Thurlow box. Looking forward to it.
I don't know about that, but anyway.
Well, if you want a crew, we're in the Thurlow box.
Rob, thanks very much for today.
Thanks, Dave. Always great to be here and look forward to being back in the Thurlow box and enjoy your night of the Three Dragons in Vietnam, everyone there listening.
Thanks to Groups. He's gone. He's disappeared for the moment. But thanks to Tony and Chris on the boundary for their efforts today. Round of applause. Thanks to Liam on camera. First time we've worked with him. Been a pleasure, Liam. So thank you. Thanks to all the guys here at Lonnie Footy Club who set us up in the Thurlow room. Much appreciated on this miserable day. Thanks to Chris Ball in the studio, who's been on board with us last night and today, getting us to air and setting up the interview there with Trent at half-time. And don't forget another big broadcast coming up. We're on air from 5 to 6 at Elfin Sports Centre. Crucial game for the Tawns up against Mount Gambier. That's all from us here at Windsor Park. The final score, Launceston 7-12-54. Defeated Lauderdale 5-3-33. See you in a little while.
This sports broadcast is brought to you by Elgas. For all your LPG needs, talk to the locals with knowledge. Elgas, call 13 11 61. A sponsor of City Park Radio.
Community radio is listener-supported radio. We're City Park Radio, 103.7 and 96.5 FM.
I'll make 5-2 on these ones.